Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. They call me Q the Boss. Excited. Today's topic, guys. I'm rubbing my hands with like Birdman do. Today we talking about dating with a purpose. We're gonna have some fun today, man. I got two special guests in the building today. Good friends of mine. You know, I respect their opinion. So today I say, you know what? Let me ask them to come join me today, and we're gonna enjoy this topic today. To my right, I have someone by the special name called Miss Delicia. Introduce yourself, please.
Hey guys, I'm Delicia B. Davis. I'm an author, an artist, and an educator, and I'm here with my latest book, Get Glowing, which is all about how girls can find their way to greatness.
Love that. Give it up for her, guys. Listen, and to my left, the legend. She does everything for me, guys. Let me give her some flowers before we even tell her name. She does so much for me. She, listen, everything that you see, the whole empowerment movement is all Sharon. Miss Lewis is behind everything. Everything. As you know, let me just let you introduce yourself, you know.
Thank you. A pleasure to be here, Q. Sharon D. Lewis, an honor. I have watched you from the foundation of writing your ideas down and reviewing them. And it's like 10 years later, it's a different world. Honored to be here.
Listen,
I'm excited.
Before I wrote my book, Miss Lewis heard every chapter. Before I did the club, the podcast, the pharmacy. She was through all of it. I told her ideas. We used to meet every day at a shake store, and I used to tell her my ideas, and she actually believed in me more than I believed in myself, to the point where she made me understand manifestation and being active in pursuing your greater self. And I want to give you some more flowers, Tyler. Give it to her, Tyler.
Thank you.
You know? But today's topic, guys, we're talking about dating with a purpose. I noticed that a lot of people, guys, and y'all can chime in on this one, I noticed a lot of people don't date with purpose.
Oh, yeah?
What do you feel about that, guys?
I mean,
put a little bit closer.
It's pretty sad.
Okay.
Especially as a woman myself, a single woman myself, I do date with a purpose, and it's hard to find the counterpart.
And why you think that is?
I think that, between, social media and media culture, the culture in general, I think we just changed the standard. When I was growing up, marriage was the goal, but nowadays it's not. People are, refusing to marry. People are afraid. People are traumatized. People are not really seeing really healthy relationships. Maybe even their own parents are not in a healthy relationship. So they really don't have the example. They don't know the end game, nor do they understand what the purpose of marriage and healthy relationships are.
Okay, let me ask you why you think that also.
When I think about dating with a purpose, I think about what I want, my end game.
Okay.
Am I just out there? Am I just having fun? Am I just chilling? Or to very much to your point, is marriage the end game, or is it having a stable relationship? And to your point, you're right. I think we've gotten it twisted with, okay, do we want a relationship? Do we want a boo? Do we want a hookup? Which one is it?
Do we want just company?
Right, exactly. And that's
Warm
cool
body.
too. Right, exactly. It's a matter of which one fits. Yes. But what's the standard we're going by?
Right.
I agree 100%.
Right.
Me personally, I think I've noticed that more so the men have definitely changed, and I'm going to be honest, but also the women have changed. I've noticed that there are people who want to behave like 2024, but want relationships like their grandparents. And I'm like, they haven't learned that their grandparents had great relationships because their grandparents was great people. I notice more people nowadays, they're not really accountable. It's more so, what can you do for me rather than what we can do together?
Right.
And that's what I think changed. My grandparents was more about, I never ever heard my grandfather say mine's. I never heard my grandmother ever say that. Wow. It was theirs. And now I'm seeing more people are adamant about theirs opposed to ours.
So would you say there's a selfish mentality
100%,
attached to it now?
100%. And that's pretty much what I'm meeting men and women. And I hate to say this, a lot of men aren't walking in their masculinity. I'm going to be fair to both parties. And a lot of women are actually walking in extreme masculinity to the point where they're too masculine. Even when you speak to them, they feel like the level of being strong is argumentative. I don't think they understand that strength is actually being less vulnerable. I mean, more so vulnerable and not argumentative. It's actually being more logical. More people feel like I'm strong because I can yell and argue with a man. And I notice that men feel like they're strong because they can argue with a woman. But a lot of times the people that argue the most, they won't fight bills. They'll fight each other, but they won't fight a bill.
Wow.
You know? So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. It's become very selfish in nature, and it just kind of sickens me because I wasn't raised that way. My intentions are never selfish, and I've always looked to partnerships and relationships to be my end game and my goal. So the fact that so many people just don't see life that way is just disheartening.
Yeah. And what about you?
So I guess I'm trying to get to the root cause of what caused this. When did it become us against them? When did it stop being, to your point, like your grandparents, when did it stop being a partnership, like we can do this together? If two of us get together and we're like-minded, what can we accomplish versus I got mine and you got yours?
I think when more people started respecting money more than people. People overvalue economics more than they value people. I play poor because of the fact that I feel like people try to respect me more because of economics. So I noticed that there's a difference between people that say they have money and people that make money. A lot of the people that are out there that make money, they think that they have money, and it's a completely different premise.
Right.
So now it's like my level of respect, I treat the custodian as I treat the CEO of the company. A lot of people aren't like that. They look at it like, as a man, you haven't reached certain plateaus, so therefore I don't see you as a man. I see you more as a flunky because you don't have the economics. And that's what's sad. Rather than saying, we can build together, you have to come already built. And 9 out of 10 times, I'm gonna say this before I pass the mic, when a man comes already built, in a lot of cases, he will never see a woman as a partner. Never.
Right.
Never. He sees himself as the partner. A championship, when it's won with a team, is more appreciated when everyone added value to the championship.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I also just want to say something about your question, when did it change? I mean, it's also systematic because you're looking at like 80s, 90s when the fathers were leaving the homes.
Leaving?
I would say taking, leaving, basically they not there.
There was incentives for women not to have men in the house, though.
Well, that's where I was going to go. Welfare,
it's called welfare.
The crack epidemic, there's a few things causing that, right? So, I mean, that systematic change happened where, we basically just stopped seeing men be men. And I think that's the reason why here today. Oh, and I gotta blame the music a little bit too.
I agree with it.
Music became very over sexualized. The way that men talked about women was all about sex, and then the way that women were talking about sex was like, okay, this is what I bring to the table type of thing. So now we have the grown women today. They came up on that music, unless you were listening to Destiny's Child like me. We came up on that, and now we think that that's where our value lies.
I agree.
Wow.
So what do you feel like when you talking to most, say, grown men, and I like to talk about grown-ups. We can't talk about children because children gonna behave like children, right? When you're talking to grown-ups, let's say men, what do you normally see with them? Like, what is their focus as far as dealing with a woman? Is it more sexual or is it more trying to build?
Okay, so I'm a little bit more old school. So forgive me, I'm probably the oldest person in the room.
Doesn't matter.
So when I think about a man, and this is probably counterintuitive to what we see now, I don't need you to be all together.
Okay.
And when I say that, very much to your point, you have, you're together, you don't need me. I see you as an individual, and I want to know what your goals are, what your aspirations are.
Agreed.
And let's go together to get those goals done.
Agreed.
Then we can aspire together. I think some people get caught up, well, if for instance, if you are the maintenance person, I'm going to respect you because you know what? You going to work every day. You handling your business.
Yes.
You're handling what you got to do.
Yes.
I give you props for that. I
Yes.
think what has happened
Yes.
is women forget to give them props. If you don't have your Mercedes, and if you don't have this, and if you don't have that, well, then I don't want to deal with you. But baby, it took him. He's got to get there.
Come on.
Like don't separate him and say he can't do it. And he's got to have somebody speaking to him.
Yes.
The woman is the one person who brought him into the world. There's going to be another woman to take him to the next place.
Oh my God.
That's just me.
But you're speaking 100% facts. And a lot of times, I realize that you basically saying pouring into each other, right? A lot of people, they have, a lot of these men don't know what it is to be, Someone said a lot of these men don't know what it is to be a high value man. They think
about
it's
that,
just
yes.
about money. But what I agree, and the reason why most of the men that believe that being a high value man is about money is because women devalue men that don't have money. And again, I'm not looked at with respect because of my economics. If I don't have money, I'm not even looked at. It's like the popular kid in high school. It becomes the more popular person when you have economics.
Right.
A woman will literally close her mouth to a man with money and speak reckless to a man without. And the man without can be more respectful to her,
Right.
but she'll bite her tongue for the man that has money and won't bite her tongue for the man that loves her more and values her more. And I hate to say that, that's what I'm seeing more in today's society.
So, in regards to what we were talking about, like the way we treat people based on their occupations, I don't know if you guys remember last year when it was like a big topic about would you date a bus driver? Because one of the housewives had said she wouldn't.
Oh,
She's a lawyer. My immediate answer to that was, I respect men with jobs. I respect especially a man who drives, right?
Exactly.
And I just feel like, if I feel like the high value woman that I am, then I feel like if I'm be with a man who's willing to work, who's willing to do what he has to do as a man, he gonna end up owning the company at some
Right.
point anyway.
Exactly.
So I don't really see why the correlation has to come from like what the occupation is. I think it's more about the character of the person.
I gotta ask you, and I have to throw this to the table. What is a high value woman?
Well, you got to tell us. We can
No,
tell you
no,
what a
no,
high
you
value
said it,
man
you said
is.
it.
No,
said
I'm
it.
just saying it's me.
So, but what is it?
Why I think of myself as high value is
Okay.
number one is because I have strong values.
Elaborate.
I stand on them. I'm a loyal person. I'm in the relationship for a partnership. I'm here for love. I'm here for the long haul. I'm not here for just one night, one day, 1 week. I'm really here to build. And I'm willing to, lay them bricks down. Maybe not like physically lay them down, but like I might make sure that they look good.
Okay. And what do you hear when you hear high value?
When I hear high value, I think of what I bring to the table, who I am as a person, very much to what you said, the value of who I am. I like to bring my authentic self. To me, that's high value because if I'm not real and broken and all, then who I want to align with doesn't know the real me.
Yes.
And so right there's going to be a disconnect.
Yes.
That's just me. I'm
Yes.
trying to figure that out. Real talk. I'm
I
trying to
agree
figure
with
that
that
out
statement.
myself.
That makes sense, though. You know something crazy, right? When we speak of high value men, high value women, a lot of the times the men that are considerably high value to women are men that work hard. Men that go hard, they're consistently into their careers, they're investing, they're saving their money, they're putting their family to level up, right? But my logic is when a man is leveling up, and 9 out of 10 times, he is not looking for a woman that looks good with him on paper as far as economics. He's looking for a woman that mentally gives him a way of releasing from the levels of stress that he normally has. I don't need a woman for her money. I own my own homes, I have my own businesses, but what it is I don't make money to brag to women about what I make. I make money to put my family in a better position.
Right.
I'm noticing that a lot of times that women that make money, they genuinely believe that it puts them at the same equivalence to a man. I don't think I'm equivalent to a woman. I think there are reasons for a woman and there are reasons for a man. But what I'm seeing nowadays is more like it's a competitional thing. Everyone's in competition.
Yes.
I don't see people saying, let me find out where he's weak and add value. Let me complain about where he's weak at.
That's the way I think.
And not work on being better at what he's weak at. That's a problem in itself. You're complaining about the fact that he's not good with money. How about you just be good with money?
And I agree with that. And have that real conversation.
Yes.
That's part of being transparent. If my gift is so another piece that I want to add to a high value person, I will be your cheerleader. The same way I used to encourage you, that's high value. It is my job as your partner to look at you and say, this is who you are, and speak into that.
Yes.
And let me show you where you can go. This is what I see.
Yes.
And allow him that time and that space to figure it out.
Yes.
Because they don't always have the answers, but collectively we can do it together.
That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
I mean, I don't know why that mindset does not register to our people.
Social media.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
how
Social
do we,
media.
like, I'm just curious to know, like, are people really considering, like, social media is, like, the law? Or are we,
Yes.
like, is anybody living in reality?
Most people are 9 to 5 fake celebrities.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're 9 to 5 fake celebrities.
Okay.
Like when you look at it, like they're really 9 to 5 fake celebrities. They think that they're celebrities. They follow like the celebrities and they think that they are. I'm like, you don't have the lifestyle that this person has. You haven't acquired the level of achievements they've acquired. They walk in rooms and people recognize them. We were talking about that earlier today when you go into a nightclub, right? As a nightclub owner, you'll see how people don't even engage anymore. They literally sit there and just stare at each other in their phones, posting the whole time. It's like they genuinely believe that they're celebrities. And I'm like, that's crazy as hell.
I gotta call fake facts on the you don't have the lifestyle of a celebrity. So
They don't.
number one, and this is not about money or anything or status. This is really, for me, celebrities are people. They just a person with a different level of a job. For the sake of this conversation, I don't think celebrity matters. That's all I'm saying.
I agree and I disagree. And I'm gonna tell you why I disagree first. The reason why I disagree is because celebrities control the narrative. They're very influential. There's a reason why they're called influencers.
But they're also influencers to like their specific audience. Like every celebrity it shouldn't impact everybody, but they impact the people who already have the same beliefs.
But it's impossible for a celebrity not to play a major part in the development of a mind.
I understand what you're saying, but for the sake of like you talk about lifestyle. When you talk about lifestyle and finding a partner and purposeful dating, I don't think it matters because everybody's messed up in their own way. Everybody needs healing and help, and you know we all have our traumas and our childhoods. And I think that the lifestyle of a celebrity, you know, could very much be relative to the way that I live, but I don't think celebrity matters for the sake of this conversation.
I agree and I disagree. The reason why I say it is because when you look at why do most women feel like a man is supposed to pay everything? Because if the world was in logic, the average person, only 6% of black people make $100,000 a year. 6%. So let's talk logic. That means 94% of us do not make that kind of money. Most people feel people supposed to fly them out. That's definitely a celebrity mentality. People are supposed to take them on vacations all the time. That's a celebrity mentality. Buy them expensive bags. That's a celebrity mentality. When we keep going, they're supposed to have a nanny while they get to sit and look prissy and cute all day. Where's that coming from? That's coming from celebrities.
I'm just saying, these are the things that I can...
That's real.
Come on.
I gotta call fake facts.
BBLs?
I'm sorry. Well, BBLs, that's in a...
Where's it coming from?
Yes, those things are coming from celebrities, but I don't think that celebrities invented that stuff. Those are the things that they...
No, they control the narrative.
Okay, that's correct.
They control the narrative.
But they place those things in celebrities' hands so that they can continue, so that they can create that narrative. Because like I live a lifestyle that affords me many of the things that you said. Many of the things that you listed, right? And I'm not a celebrity, and I don't need to be a celebrity. I've just been a hardworking woman my whole life. So I just think that the celebrity factor shouldn't really matter for the sake of this conversation.
I agree. You know what it is? When I I do a lot of one-on-one consulting. You talk to men, you talk to women. When you listen to people, right? I don't think most black people know the difference between making money and actually having money. I listen to a lot of people. They live very paycheck to paycheck. They make money. Right. But their lifestyle is very paycheck to paycheck. Right. And then they think that they have money. I'm like, you don't have money. I can call a friend of mine right now who's I have a lot of celebrity friends, like real friends, who can show you $20 million in their bank account. Wow. Cash. Like without a doubt. I made my homeboy come here, Tyler, right? And he showed you his crypto account. His crypto account. Do he have money or do he have money? You get what I'm saying? Wow. So what I genuinely believe is we mirror that, right, based on imagery.
Right.
And it's sad because when you look at the perception of life, people are so captivated by trying to mirror an image opposed to accepting themselves for themselves. That's what I'm seeing every day now.
Well, to your point, I think that's where I think what he was trying to say, and please correct me if I'm wrong, where the celebrity piece comes in. Again, you see what it should look like. You got the glow,
the aesthetics.
And I agree with you. I've traveled and I've done that myself. And I don't expect anybody else to pay that. But when you're in a relationship and you're looking for a partner, there must be a realistic standpoint where it was like, okay, listen. In order for us to plan that vacation, to Dubai, we gonna need to kind of put some money aside, and make sure we just don't have $20,000 to be like, okay, let's go. Nor if you're really working, do you have the time to do that
Come on.
without planning it? So I think that's where the celebrity piece comes in. Where
Trying to
it looks
be
like
something
it's
enough.
saying
whimsical.
it's like it's the package.
It's what it is. It has to look like this.
It looks like
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
more like
It's the
marketing is what
presentation.
Right. Yes, and so you miss the part until you have that real conversation about. Okay, I know what you want to do. That's part of the manifestation that we were
Yes.
talking about. Yes,
Yes.
we can manifest it. We're gonna be able to get there, but realistically, we're gonna have to do it step by step
Right.
by
It's
step.
like we skip the step of like doing the work.
Yes.
It's kind of like how we look at like
Yes.
maybe a really nice relationship, and we
Right.
don't know what they went
Yes.
through. We don't know what they're dealing
Yes.
with.
Right, and they
we
look one way.
Yeah.
But then
I
you
got
start
you
peel
now.
back the layers,
Got
and you're
you.
like, wait, what's under there?
Right.
Listen,
Let's talk
because
about that.
you take the logic. I'm not going to bring up the person, but we're just having a conversation. Professional woman makes 6 figures. Most people that make 6 figures are taxed at 6 figures. They do not make 6 figures. They do not make 6 figures.
Right.
They're taxed at 6 figures. They make
Right.
about 68, 70,000 after
Right.
take home, right? So they go, I make 6 figures. No, you don't. You're taxed
their
at 6
pre-tax,
figures.
right, yeah.
Yes. So a lot of times when you talk to our culture, for instance, let's say my mentor name is Dr. Trisha Bailey. Trisha Bailey is a multi-billionaire. She has her own
Billion.
chat, and you can Google her name and see everything that this is what it is. But when you look at Trisha is one of the most modest, wealthiest people I have ever met. The most arrogant people are the people that's broke. They just disgusting. They're so arrogant. And I'm like, yo, it's because their mind is like literally captivated by a look and being accepted by people
Right.
opposed to themselves. And that's what you see. They just believe that celebrity. I'm like, celebrity? Like, you ain't no damn celebrity. No one knows you.
And from a dating standpoint, if you're putting on a front, how do you mirror that with what you're looking for? That's where I feel there's always that disconnection. How if you're showing me plastic,
Yes.
then that's what you're gonna get back.
Sure, people are not looking for a mate. They're looking for a lifestyle. They're looking for a lifestyle.
That brings us back
That's
to
it.
dating with a purpose.
They're looking for a
bring it
lifestyle.
back to
Wow,
dating
that's
with a
it. They're looking for a
purpose.
lifestyle.
Yes.
Wow.
It's like, you know what? I want the
Wow.
superior man that makes. One of the ladies that came in one time, she said to me, I'm a boss chick. The guy she was dating made about $60,000 a year. She said he makes too little of money for me. And I said to her, if you're such a boss chick, level him up, boss.
Right.
Level him up, boss. I said, because you're not a boss chick. You like the title. A boss is one who cuts checks and makes sure that families are fed. A boss chick is not a person that's self-employed. It is completely different. Everyone uses boss, I'm a boss. Like, you're not a boss. You're self-employed. You're self-employed.
Name game again.
Yeah, but again, like, you know, like you sit back and evaluate it. Our culture is losing because of the mentality of the people. I always ask the question, if I have a cold, what would you do as a mom?
If you had a cold,
If I had a cold?
have you get some rest, drink some tea, get some medicine, take you to the doctor in 24 hours.
Okay, if I had diarrhea, what would you do as a mom?
What's the diarrhea thing?
Just give me just anything.
Listen, we ain't had that in a while.
Probably hydrate you, right? Hydrate you.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
That's
there you
that
go. Water.
what's that drink? Pedialyte, right?
Yeah.
So
See,
my question is,
infancy.
when you look at all of those sicknesses are right issues, how do you fix an illness when the illness are the people?
It's really a mindset thing. So, you know, I feel like that's the reason why I write books. That's the reason why I have these conversations. That's the reason why I have my book clubs. And, you know, we
Yes,
go on
yes.
and on about this. Because I think the more people see examples of healthy relationships and even
Yes.
find like ways of problem solving through them, that's the only way right now. You
Yes.
know, we are creating our own media channels such as this one so that we can get a different narrative out.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like those are just the baby steps we have to take.
Agreed.
Because it's a big problem.
It is.
The
It is.
music, the music, the social media, the media in general, you know, what I see outside, poverty is a part of it because we're all really just trying to chase after the same dream, the same goal. And we feel like we have to claw at each other to do it and really, you know, fight the people who we should be collaborating with.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
Yes.
that's
Agreed.
those are problems. Like, how do we start to turn the narrative to let's work together? How we
Yes.
gonna do this? How we gonna make this happen?
I'm gonna ask both of y'all a question. As a man, right? And you guys see a man, I would hope so at least, right? If I wore a bunch of expensive items, I drove a luxury car. In most cases, most women would assume that he has money, right?
Yes.
My question I always ask women is, women dress half naked and then get mad at the fact that men don't respect them. I genuinely can't understand that. Like, I just don't understand it. If I'm
other
showing
conversation.
money, I know more gold diggers are going to pursue me, right? And that's just common sense. So when you tell a woman, I'm like, she be like, oh, these guys are thirsty. I'm like, no, you look easy.
Wow.
You look easy. I'm like, we just talking logic.
Right.
Why do women get mad at the truth in a lot of cases? I'm just asking from a man's standpoint because it don't make sense to me. Not saying you guys are those women,
Right.
but I'm just
Yeah,
want you
I
to
can't
speak for
I
voicing
can't really
of what you
speak
think of women.
too much for those women because
I'm pretty sure we all know somebody like that.
Yeah, we all know somebody like that. I really don't think that women understand the value in themselves when they do that because for me, I do know it. And, you know, for me, I don't give it all away, you know? I do feel like people have to earn, you know, even like conversations with me and like time and
Okay.
things like that. I don't think women understand, you know, the gift that they have inside themselves.
What is the
And
gift?
The gift is, you know, your mindset, your company. You know, those things are valuable if you treat it well. But because, you know, I don't think they understand that.
Okay.
They just give it all up in one shot. And then they don't really get to the next level with dudes. And that's why they end up disappointed because they don't get to those conversations. They don't get to those, you know, really authentic, you know, dates and, you know,
Yes.
and I've gone through it all. So I know that there are levels to this and most
Agreed.
people really don't make it that far up.
Agreed.
I think it comes back to women realize that men are visual.
Okay.
So because they want that love, again,
Yes.
going back to the love, they
Yes.
want that relationship.
Yes.
They want to give the man that instant gratification.
Yes.
So I'm going to show you what you can get
Yes.
if you can talk the right game. The problem is that's not real.
No.
It's but the ramifications behind it, to your point, you look easy, so I'm gonna go after it. I'm
go
gonna tap
after
it.
it.
Excuse my language. I'm
It's the
gonna
truth.
tap it and then I'm gonna walk away
It's
and I'm
the
gonna look
truth.
for value.
Yes.
Men are visual, but at the
Yes.
same time, and men have said this to me, you don't have to show everything.
No.
Allow me to use my imagination
No.
to see what's there. And to your point, get that conversation. Because what you really want, you want to see, are you at my level?
Yes.
If I allow you access to my money, do you know how to handle it?
Yes.
Can you take me in for who I am and build on that together? Or is it just a one-time thing? So I think men have that insecurity as well.
Agreed.
Can I trust you with my heart?
Agreed.
And so because of that, they, you know,
Yeah, there's always like a wall. Yeah.
there's a wall, there's a level of fluff. And unfortunately, when a woman shows that piece, and I have that conversation with young ladies that I mentor all the time, because they're like, no, you got to show this. And I'm like, you don't need to show all
need to show all
that.
that.
Just show them your mind.
Yes.
Show them your gifts.
Yes.
And they'll be drawn to that.
But she might not be comfortable with her mind.
That's what I'm saying.
You know?
That's
Right,
like not
that's-
knowing the
yes,
value. That's that
exactly.
piece.
Yes.
'Cause you don't really have anything else to offer. So usually you just lead with that easy, that you're just being
Yes,
a woman.
yes.
Exactly.
You think that's enough, you know?
You know. One of the guys I was speaking to the other day, he said, he noticed that it's hard even finding good women, and a lot of times when I hear that, honestly, I think that most people have a type, and sometimes what may be for you may not look like it's for you, but it is for you because I genuinely believe if people start dating a mentality, I think we'll have more successful dating.
Absolutely.
People date looks, aesthetics. She has to have a this and he has to have a that. And I'm like, damn, you know, every time I see people married, you know, I happen to be in a area that has a high level of people that look like me married. When you look at the marriage, I've seen beautiful women, I see in-between women, and I've seen women I wouldn't be so attracted to. And they've all are married. But the one thing I've seen, the common denominator of all of these three women is their mentality. Every single one of them. I'm like, I can see why you're a wife. And then I can see why some women aren't wives. And then some women, I'm like, you just haven't found the right man yet. Because they should be. And I met some men, I'm like, you just haven't found the right wife. Because I realized some of us wasted our time with the wrong person
Right.
opposed to the right person.
Right.
You know, and I've seen both sides of the coin. So what would you say is your ideal man?
Ooh.
I want to hear this. It's about to get good.
My ideal man would be a man of God.
Okay. Give a bomb to that. Hold on. No, we just run past that.
A man of
What
God.
we doing?
Someone who really understands what it means to give love and to receive love.
Okay.
If I go into like aesthetics, I would say, you know, someone who's taller than me,
Okay.
who's mature. And I was going to pop into what you were saying and just talk about how, you know, to lose sight of the aesthetics and really to go into the mindset of a person, you really have to be mature.
Okay.
You know, when we're young, we're just like, oh, that looks nice. But then we start to say, wait, is it nice though?
So what kind of career? At least earning
See, I
wise.
don't really, and I signed up for a dating show recently, and they asked those kind of questions, and I'm like, honestly, there's no money cap. We gonna make money, period. There's no specific career. Do what you love. I don't want you coming home stressed. Things like that. The type of man that I want is, emotionally intelligent in general. I specifically like a man who's creative or business savvy or both. Just because that's who I am, and like I tap into art and music and media and things like that, like deep. I assess it. I like get
You know the one. Sorry if I cut you off.
No, I'm good.
Okay. The one thing I will say is and this is being fair. A lot of people and a lot of women. I want you to hear this too, Delicia. A lot of women say that they can date men, that it doesn't matter how much money they earn, right? But I genuinely believe that a lot of women can't respect a man that don't make a lot of money. I think a lot of women can date them, but I don't think they can respect them. And that is the highest level of currency a woman can give a man. I don't care about me getting sex from you because it's an equal transaction. I'm giving you something, you giving me something. So when a woman feel like I'm giving you my prize, I'm giving you my prize too.
Right.
You crazy? I'm not chopped liver. You know, and that's how I feel about myself, right?
Yes.
DMX said, I blaze you, you blaze me. I gave you what you gave me. He said, I blaze you, you blaze me. I gave you what you gave me.
Yes.
Right? So to me, that's an equal transaction.
That's cool.
Right? But for me,
thought.
it's like, I genuinely believe that most women cannot respect a man who don't earn. They can date him. And then I feel like when anger comes, here comes the real version of self. You ain't this, and you don't have this. And that's what I'm seeing more today in today's society.
In today's society, that's the expectation. But now, if I was to speak for all women, I guess that's how most women feel or think. But to be honest, because I think that's fake facts too. Only one time in my life I dated somebody who made less than me.
And how did that work out?
We had a really great relationship. I
happened?
loved him. He could not accept the fact that I made more than him.
But did you make him feel away?
I would never.
I will say this.
I didn't even care. I wouldn't even know, unless he made it an issue.
You gotta admit, perception is one's reality. So your perception in your mind could be, I made him comfortable with it. His perception in his mind could be like, you didn't make me comfortable with it. Because sometimes the expectations of being with a person makes me not comfortable. But people don't identify that. Like, for instance, a person can tell me they want something without telling me they want something. Because it could be the expectations of you that makes him not feel secure. He knows he's not meeting those requirements of being with you. And knowing that financially he can't, it puts him in a different space. Like, you know what? I can't meet those requirements. So sometimes that can create the problem within itself.
Yeah, so if that's creating the problem and you don't communicate that to me, then that becomes your problem, and that can't be our problem.
It depends if you made him comfortable to talk, though.
I completely...
Assuming?
I'm going to tell you my perspective. I cannot speak for him.
Okay.
I'm only going to tell you what I know.
Now we talking.
My communication style is open. Like, tell me anything, I'm going to receive it, and we going to go back and forth until we going to have a conversation.
Okay.
If you don't bring that to me, I can't help you.
Okay.
For me, money has never been an issue for me. Like,
in fairness, I agree
my
with
entire life. Like, it's still not even it's not even at the top of the list, because money is it's so easy to make, especially for me. I'm talking about me.
Okay.
Talking about me. I'm a creative person. I'm a resourceful person. I am, hungry. I'm ready. I'm willing. So making money is not an issue for me. So even to date somebody who makes less than me was not an issue for me. It could have been for him. I can admit that.
But what is the lifestyle that you?
The lifestyle that I have.
And you notice I say this
meet
story. I say
somebody
require.
The lifestyle that I require is a lifestyle I'm already giving myself.
How often you want to go out to eat?
Anytime.
No, that's not what I asked you. That's not what I asked you.
I'm sorry, really.
Okay, twice a week. Okay.
To be honest, I don't have a number.
Everyone has a number.
I mean,
logical.
Out to eat. It depends. I'm busy right now.
So let me ask you a question and being honest.
Remember what I told you? I go out to eat once a week. I do eat seafood once a week.
So here's my question. What would you say? I always ask women this question. And some women, I think they don't tell the truth. I think a lot of them. This is why I'm gonna say why they don't tell the truth.
Gonna make sure.
I believe that most women, they say what people want to hear, opposed to their truth. And then mine,
Not me.
the universe listens to your words. How many times have you heard women say, I don't want a man, I don't need a man?
Yes.
This is why they
I
keep
ain't
getting
never said
boys.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Because they keep telling the universe they don't need a man.
Right.
So therefore they keep getting boys and boys and boys and boys. You tell the universe, I don't want no more boys. I remember I used to say, I don't need no woman. And I kept getting girls. When I said to the universe, I don't want to deal with any more girls. Right? God, remove these little girls from my life and start bringing women so I can see the difference between aesthetically, it's big. Aesthetically, it's mature.
Right.
Aesthetically, it's mature. But mentally, it's a toddler. And I started seeing even with women, they always talk about the men, but there are a lot of good single men who get overlooked every day because aesthetically, they're not mature. They're not mature, right?
And they think that we have an issue. So they a lot of times I feel like men talk themselves out of stepping up to a woman
Agreed.
Or
because
stepping-
they're afraid. To
Right.
your point, you're
Agreed.
absolutely right.
Agreed.
If you're looking to answer your original question, you're looking for somebody with quality.
Yes.
I'm looking for somebody with manners. I'm looking
Yes.
at, I mean, real talk. I'm looking for somebody that has home training.
Yes.
I don't.
Somebody
I'm
who loves
not
his
trying
family.
to put on the male cap.
Yes.
What your role is your role, but I'm also not trying to. And again, I'm old school. Open the door. There's a level of respect and
Yes.
manners that need to come with that relationship.
Yes.
And you don't have to pay the bill. We can pay the bill together. We can
Yes.
split it, whatever, or take turns.
Yes.
But don't be afraid of that. But at the same time, from a money standpoint, I'm not going to shrink because of how hard I've pushed to
100%.
make what I've
Right.
done.
100%.
I'll share that with you and say, now where do you want to go?
Agreed.
Right.
And we build
Agreed.
it again. It's got to be a partnership.
Agreed.
And when they get scared and they turn away, that's when they lose the opportunity.
Right.
Because it's like,
100%.
oh, well, she has it together. I'm not going to look like I'm falling apart.
Never.
Because you won't even be drawn to that. So I can link up with you. No. Right. Exactly.
You know what's amazing? What you said is facts. 100%. Everything you said, 99.99999. I live that percent of a percent. That could be fake, right? Right. Bomb to that all day. But the one thing I will admit though is so many people. When I say people, men and women, they come from broken dating worlds, right? It's broken to the point where they just put everyone in a box. You know, I told one of my boys, you have to understand that there's levels to life, but also with levels comes with new devils. And he's moving up in life, but not realizing that you have to prepare yourself mentally for the new devil. And the one thing I realized is with moving up economically, you start meeting stronger mental devils who understand how to manipulate, whether men and women, right? They can play a part because 9 out of 10 times people are amazing at showing their representative. But then when you start dating them, you be like, this person is crazy. This person is a liar. This person is not consistent. This person is reckless with their mouth. And then this is what you're starting to see. More people are not who they genuinely are. Like I tell you, after going through my divorce, I started dating and I started seeing a nasty dating pool. And what really made me scared is I'm worried about my children. I'm worried about my children because you know things have to get worse before they can get better. So I started seeing things get worse. And since getting a divorce, I'm seeing it get worse. What do you think we can do, right, to clean up the dating pool? What do you think something that people, when I say we, I'm talking about in a whole, what are we talking about? What we can do?
I think we have to start dating less of what we see and more
divorce rate.
of who a person is. So I think like we need to be dating the mindset, the values, the morals, the goals, the ambitions of a person rather than just he looks good. And I honestly believe that was like my early on problem in dating and things like that is like I would always see something I like and get it. And then it's like not what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually had like an analogy when I had bought my last car. I had bought like the basicest version of the car that I have now.
Okay.
And it crashed in like less than a year, like totaled. And when I went to go get it again, they were like, "You sure you want this one? This is the basic. We got the luxury version. This one got the sunroof. It got the leather seats. It got the Bose speakers. It got the lights on the side window, on the mirrors." I'm like, "Oh my God!" And she was like, "It looks exactly the same, but you got to check the features." And I didn't check the features of that first car. Neither did I checked the features of my first husband. So, and I feel like that was like an early mistake that I made, and now, you know, I'm in the process. I fixed that.
So my question is, so you went through a divorce. What I hear with him, and this is what I want to do. What was wrong with you?
I just told you.
No, go a
I
little
was
more.
like surface.
No, but that was about him.
No. That was more about me.
No, because what I'm
I
saying
didn't
is,
tell you what he did wrong. I didn't tell you
No,
anything
no.
about him.
Look, I'm going with it.
How I didn't dig deep enough into what I knew I needed and what I really wanted, because I just focused on the surface.
no, what I'm saying is, yeah, I hear you saying basically that he wasn't a good guy. That's what I'm hearing when I hear that, right?
But I'm not
you hear
saying
it?
that.
No,
I'm not saying
I
that.
think what she's saying is she didn't do enough work on herself at that time.
Okay,
And please
okay.
correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
no, you got
it.
It was just
Yeah.
like, okay, well, here's a bottle.
Yeah.
Okay, but what's in that bottle?
Yeah.
What does it taste like?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She's looking at just the outer
Right.
as opposed to pulling off those layers and saying what's really under there.
Right, exactly.
Okay, you know why I asked this question is because I think most people don't self-evaluate. I think, like, for instance, even if you give me something to react to, how I react, I'm still accountable for it. A lot of times I think people don't hold themselves accountable to even a situation that warrants me being disrespectful. I think you take on the karma once you react. I think that's what I see with people. Like, for instance, I was dating one woman, she said to me, "You're triggering to me," because she didn't have a father. So the fact that she didn't have a father, it was hard for her to receive constructive criticism from a man. So anytime I would tell her what I felt was wrong, it became like a defense. Rather than her being able to, like, you know what, let me hear this guy out. She couldn't, no matter how you slice it, she couldn't. And so therefore, no matter what, I was always gonna be the problem. Because I'm sitting here right now hearing it.
That's true.
But if I sat two people in the same room, two people will have two different perceptions of what they seen each other do wrong. So what I'm trying to say is, let's say, I can say my problem was I was very rude. I was very rude because of how I would speak to her, not looking at it like, yo, you're talking to a woman.
Right.
So therefore, I'm able to fix that now because I'm like, wait, I did an episode with a person we both know mutually. Everyone commended me of how I was able to keep myself together. And that's because of being able to self-evaluate
Right.
from that dating situation I was, learning how to always be conscious of how I behave and not looking at the person like, you may be a butthead, but I'm not gonna be because you're one.
Right.
Because my mother always said, and one thing I love about my mother always got her analogies, and they always hit when they in the right time. She said, if a stranger walked past and you and a woman is arguing, who was looked at as crazy? And I think about it now, like, we both are. So that's what I'm trying to say. In most cases, we have to be able to sit down and see ourselves more than we can see our mate. So it's the internal. Like, you know
Absolutely.
what made me so comfortable with dating a loser? What made me so comfortable dating a loser? Maybe there's a level of codependency. Maybe it's my insecurities. And that's what I had to learn myself.
Wow.
Right? What would you say, how you feel about that?
That actually, that's deep. As somebody who's also divorced, I think you've got to do the work.
Yes.
You've got to sit back
Yes.
and a little contrary to our topic. Yes, I want to date, but at the same time, I was telling you about a trigger today with someone I used to date, and my trigger with him was like, yeah, no, I'm not ready.
I'm not-
And I had to sit in that and say, you're not ready because I'm pulling in not just relationships with him, I'm pulling in relationships with my husband
Yes.
ex-husband from 20 years ago.
Yes.
So I haven't learned yet to peel off the past.
Yes.
And I think a lot of what we do in the dating world right now is we pull those past relationships. So you're not just dating you dating you, this one, that one from 17.
Yes.
Well, I'm not gonna have them do what they did to me.
Right.
Yes.
Some of that you're gonna have to shed.
Agreed.
And you're gonna
Agreed.
have to, and contrary to what my mother, you're gonna have to speak to somebody. You're gonna have to get a therapist. You're gonna have to
Yes.
get a pastor.
Yes.
You're gonna have to get a friend where you can just talk
that,
this
all
out.
that.
And journal. For me, it's journaling.
Yeah.
Journal that out so you get it out of your spirit.
Right.
So you can come clear. Two broken pieces
Cannot come
together. And then that's just the reality. You're gonna have to take the time and mend yourself. It should be two whole individuals.
Yes.
And
Yes.
figure out from there. I think we were talking one time and you said you gotta be equally yoked.
You have to be yoked.
And so there's
You have
gotta
to
be
be
equal
yoked.
healing.
Yes.
It's gotta be.
Yes.
And it's a time of self-reflection where you gotta sit back. I want all those things. I want the marriage. I want the man. I want
Yeah.
the relationship. I want to
Yes.
build the business.
Yes.
But before I get there, Sharon, are you whole? Are you tight? Did you let go of your past? Are you going to be triggered because he didn't get the door?
100%.
And are you just going to stand there if he don't get the door? Are you going to know how to talk to him and say, okay, now baby, I don't touch doors. I don't do that.
Are you going to assume?
I probably will. So even
Most
that I have
people-
to check.
Yeah.
So that's part of the conversation.
Yes.
To me, the part of the dating, what it used to be, as my grandma used to say,
Dating is
was the
data.
allure. It was the allure.
Yes.
It was like what's to come. So
Yes.
you didn't just go on a date.
Yes.
Hit what?
Yes.
No, baby. No. There's the conversation. There's the phone call.
Yes.
There's the excitement seeing
Got the
that
urgency.
text
Getting a
coming.
text,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
You don't get access to everything
No,
because
no.
I am the whole prize.
Yes.
But it's again being whole.
You know one thing I love about her, and for me knowing her, the one thing I love about her, and this is me giving her flowers, is I've always heard her always speak positive, not looking at her past experiences as a traumatic experience, but more of as a life lesson.
Yes.
And the one thing I think that's what made me go closer to her, because I was astonished that a woman who was able to say, you know what, Q, there's still love out there. There is a good man out there.
Yes.
There is life after divorce. There is positive. And that's the one thing I've always admired about her, because that means you healed to me.
Yeah, I've done the work.
That's what I
Right,
see.
that's it.
And I have to give you your flowers, because I listen to a lot of women. They put us all in a box. And the sad part is, I'm like, okay, you like 6 foot. You're like a dude that's in between jobs that make fast money.
That's
and every
big
time
facts, big
they
facts.
do that all the time. And I'm like, you keep dating these guys.
Right.
And I'm
Come on,
like,
let's clear that up.
go ahead, I'm listening. I'm listening. Go ahead.
So first of all, I feel like the whole height thing, 6
It matters.
feet, it matters, but that's a fake fact, because honestly, women just want a man that's taller than them they can look up to when they wearing heels. That's it. You know what I'm saying? For a shorter woman like me, it's not 6 feet. It's like 5'10", 5'11", maybe. Okay?
Okay.
So, no. No. But and first of all, every woman's different. And I feel like the same way you said how people put, all men in a box, I feel like they do the same thing for women, especially now. Men literally
Experiences,
will
based on
sit in front
experiences.
of me and will be on a date with me, who is amazing, and will tell me how terrible women are. And I'm like, well, do you see me? Like, I'm here, I'm different, I'm my own person, get to know me. But I feel like guys are really, really stuck in all their trauma, whatever they done been through, chasing maybe the wrong woman, like we've all have done. I feel like dudes ain't really seeing us. They not really seeing the good woman. Just like how you said, a lot of good men get overlooked,
Yes.
so do we.
Yes.
So,
But you know, I think that goes back to the last generations, and I say that with a plural, is because I feel like we weren't taught that therapy was natural.
Yes, it's true.
And then you're sitting down
Definitely
with a mind that's doing the work that needs actual professional help. It's like you're sitting there doing a surgery on yourself and you're not a doctor. And that's what I see what a lot of people do.
Yeah, it's
and
true.
I've tried that.
Yeah.
And believe you me, the surgeries failed every time until I realized that I needed professional
Right,
help.
you need support.
Because being broken is a state of mind, which ultimately allows others to come around you to feel your broken energy. Because the way you vibrate is the way you vibrate. And when a person starts loving themselves, they only want people that love themselves around them.
Amen. That's
So that's what I'm starting to see, because, like, for instance, I told the same person, I said, every woman I'm around has degrees. Every woman I'm around has education. Every woman I'm around carry themselves of a certain status and a certain character. I'm not around
Nothing
the
else.
woman that's looking for a man to take care of them. So for me, it's abnormal for me to lie about my reality. My reality is I'm around a lot of great women. So when I listen to some people say, oh, women are this and women are that, I'm like, is it the women or is it the audience that you're comfortable being around?
Right.
Because every movie comes out, the theater's packed with different movies. And there's different people in different movies.
Right.
I mean,
For
everyone
sure.
has different tastes, right?
Right, exactly.
So I choose to watch this movie because
Right.
it's for me. And then when I go in that movie,
Good
we're all
analogy.
laughing at the comedy
Right.
because this is what we want, right? And then other people are going in a certain way. I'm like, I'm not comfortable watching this movie,
Right.
right?
Exactly.
right.
It's just what it is.
Perfect analogy, to be honest. And
appreciate it.
I do feel like there are pockets of different type of people. Like this guy's just like, oh, all women want is money. I'm like, well, are you picking the women that want your money? Because, there's women that don't just want your money. Some
Agreed.
women got their own money.
Agreed.
And very similar to you, I feel like when people tell me about certain type of dudes and certain type of females, I'm like, I don't got no friends like that.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
my friends all marriage minded, degrees as well, own homes, own cars,
Yes.
you know, handling business inside and outside their homes. So I'm just like, I don't really see anything else.
Yes.
And, you know, since I have gone through my maturity and my growth, I'm like, I'm not really trying to see that. Even if I see something, I'm kind of like allergic to that. Like, you know, we don't vibe.
You know, but two healthy adults coming together who can carry their own weight, right? And in all respect, and just because you can lift more than a woman don't mean you're stronger. Let me just say that again. Man, just because you can lift more than a woman don't mean you're stronger. I've seen women move mountains. And literally, I mean, the crazy part is they use their mind to move it. They don't use their physical strength to do it. And I've seen that with my own two eyes, thousands of times. I genuinely believe that God has put women on earth to accommodate and complement a man.
Right.
Right? And I genuinely believe that the Bible says a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. And I don't see anything wrong with a man. See, 3 types of people. And let me just say this. You have baby mamas, baby daddies. You have boyfriends, you have girlfriends. You have husbands, you have wives. I think people dated boyfriends and baby daddies are baby mamas and girlfriends, and they talk about wives. They haven't found a wife and they haven't found a
Very
husband.
distinct
Right.
differences.
Yes.
I swear to you. Earlier, you said something about the type of, oh gosh, I'll be losing my thoughts.
Okay.
But it was about saying that you don't want girlfriends anymore.
Yes.
You don't want
Little
girls.
girls.
You want a husband,
women.
you want a man.
So for me, a few years ago, I remember somebody asking me, oh, you want a boyfriend? I'm like, to be honest, no, I don't want a boyfriend. I'm
Yes.
looking for a husband.
Yes.
I'm not really looking, but I said, I don't want a boyfriend. Like,
You're
I want a
looking.
husband.
We
You
ain't
know
gonna
what
lie,
I'm
she's
saying?
looking, guys.
Right, and there's nothing.
She don't mind
and
you
there's
looking at her.
right, and there's nothing wrong with
No.
that. Having the standard to say yes, I want a husband.
Yes, I'm at that
That's
age
right.
where I want to be in something serious.
Yes.
And I think that's where we confuse reality from.
Yeah.
It doesn't want.
It's
You
a
don't want to
different
sound
type of
thirsty,
mindset. Yeah,
Right.
it's
but
a
you don't
different-
sound thirsty by being honest.
It's a different mindset when you like the guy who I told you made less than me. It wasn't about the money at all, and that's what I was trying to get to.
Okay.
It's like it was really about the mindset. You know, he had a lot of great ideas. He was not willing to take them to the next level.
Scared.
I'm very ambitious, so like for me, that just doesn't work. I'm always gonna be moving and shaking. So if you not always, but like there's I'm trying to go higher in life, and if you just don't, you're totally okay where you are. I'm not mad at that. I
But
wasn't mad at
scarcity
that.
is a natural mindset, though. That's a real mindset. It's
Yeah.
called scarcity.
Yeah, and
You know?
it just did not
Wow.
it just did not work for me. There's no love lost. It's just that it
not for
doesn't
you.
work for me. So when I get out of relationships and for reasons like that, it's there's a level of like pain because it's like a loss. But for me, it's like, at the end of the day, I want you to find what you need. If you find where you at, there's a girl who's fine where she at too.
Yes.
Right, exactly.
But that's just not me.
After we ask this question, we're gonna go into this chapter that you talked about because
Okay.
I want to make sure she get this off.
Yeah.
But let me ask you a question, and I'm asking both of you guys. Would you say right now that the dating market is bad because the people that's in the dating market is bad? Or you just think the dating market is just bad? Is it the people?
I don't think it's the people.
Okay.
I think it's the mentality.
Okay, there we go.
I think that needs to shift.
There we go.
I think we've very much to what you said. We've gone through levels of time
Yes.
where I think what people want is not real. They want the plastic doll as opposed to the authentic
person.
individual.
Yes.
They want the fluff as opposed to transparency.
Agreed.
And that's where I think there's a misstep because yes, we can give real talk. We can give you the fluff.
Yes.
We can give you Barbie,
Yes,
but Barbie got a timeline to it.
agreed.
And
Agreed.
that's that.
You know what I tell a lot of women? Why a lot of women cannot find good men?
Tell us.
Let me tell you the truth.
I'm like, please.
I'm going to be honest. Some women are such leaders that they look for these alpha men that they're the alpha person in the house already. Alpha only means leader. Sharon, only a fool can't see that you're a leader. Delicia, only a fool can't see you're a leader. To not live in your natural aura is disrespecting your creator. Because when God made you, he made you the way you are.
Right.
And in order for you to be the greatest version of you in you is by being that leader that you are. Some women just have to naturally be comfortable knowing like, look, if I find a man who's willing to follow my lead, I found me a king. And the reason why I say that is because a man not being able to follow a woman says that I'm strong within myself because I'm not lying to myself. So you would rather me lie to myself and lead us to the gates of hell because I know I'm not a good leader, but because you want me to be a leader, but I'm not, but I know how to be a good man to you. And I'm going to pretend as if I'm this guy that I'm not, right? To make you have this lifestyle that you had in your head, right? The Cinderella story that you've been sold, which is not true. The Cinderella story is maybe you are the leader, but yet and still he has to be willing to follow your lead. And the fact that he's following your vision, he's following your lead, that makes him a great man. Why? A man's supposed to lead. Listen, this is, one day people say things like, this is not biblical times. But then we pick and choose when we want it to be biblical times.
Right.
That don't make sense to me. Right? Living in your truth. And I tell you, a lot of women, they're strong. I'm like, look at this. Only 44% of couples get divorced, meaning that more than half the couples stay together. Just so y'all know that. 44% of couples get divorced. So more than half stays together. So we're about at 56% stay married. I'm saying 66.
And then, but that doesn't say anything about the culture or the race, but because that makes a big difference too.
But that's what I think. Marriage don't have a color. Marriage have mentality. And when white people, I'm like, listen, they get around white people and you see they have the same problems black people
For
have.
the most part, but I would say that they're a little bit more marriage minded. They do understand.
Because they wasn't removed from their wife.
Right. They see the
They
value.
wasn't beaten because they loved someone. They wasn't separated and watched someone rape their woman. So it's a different mentality within itself. It's a lot of issues we have.
I totally understand that for sure. But we do have to start to mend that. We need to mend that trauma immediately because we are literally like becoming extinct as a culture because we are not marrying our own and we're not loving our own. We're not supporting our own. And it's really just kind of sad.
She's right. If you look at all the athletes nowadays, right? And Tyler, we talk about this all the time. Sharon, a lot of the athletes right now are actually dating outside their race. And one lady asked me one time, why do you think black men even entertain dating outside their race? I said, because men don't go where they're tolerated, they go where they're celebrated. And I said, the fact of the matter is the black woman is not celebrating them. Black women make black men feel like garbage.
Wow.
Garbage. When you say the number one oppressed creature in America is a black man, and the second oppressed is the woman who should understand the black man's story. Yes. No, the black man. If I could break the man, I could break your home.
Yeah, they've done that.
But
they've done that.
That is what has been done for decades. Which is why when you talk about a man, I need to see that. So again, we can mend together. Maybe it's before we get married.
Yes.
You almost have to identify the brokenness and address it. So you are absolutely correct. It is generations of separating our people and our families where it's almost, to your point, it's almost okay.
It's like normal
not to be married.
Yes.
Which is counterintuitive to everything that we know. It's okay to just hit it in. No. That's not okay.
It's scary though, Sharon, as a man. Well, I find women who don't mind having a child by me, even if they're not married to me.
Yeah.
It's scary. When a woman don't care. You talking about locking in on a child.
This is something I'm just so, like, blows my mind how many women are doing that today. So even like we could go into the whole hit it and quit it thing, like even like the one night stands, the whole casual sex culture. What's up with that?
It's because it's looked at as normality.
I see.
And what's sad about it being normal is a father that's raising daughters. I don't want my daughters to believe that their value is one, sex, secondly, being able to combat a man. I want a woman, my daughters, to understand that you're a strong woman. And what makes you strong is that you have the ability to submit to a man that you see that's worthy.
Right.
And I say that she sees that's worthy within reason, within logic. Because some things that people say, oh, he's not a real man. I'm like, sister, that's the best you're going to get. That's the best you're going to get. You know? And you tell her that, she looks at you like I feel like, listen, we talking logical, right? I want you to get into this chapter.
All right. So right on target because this is a book of affirmations. Basically, it's a Girl's Guide to Greatness. I separated it into 3 chapters. One is on love and self-love. The second one is on healing and loss, and the last one's on business and success. Okay. I'm gonna read from the self-love chapter. There's a page. The affirmation is level up like a lady.
Level up like a lady.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if it's the food or the music or environment, but it seems like someone done told these modern day ladies that we need to man up. Well, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for y'all. Unlearn all that and level up like a lady.
Okay.
We as women and girls have got to get back in touch with our femininity. A true glow up requires the simple things about being a woman that many of us have neglected. Take care of your hair, moisturize your skin, keep those nails clean, wear clothes that complement your figure, keep a high value mindset and or attitude, and treat your men like men.
Yes.
I'm talking king-ish, respect, loyalty, love. Start showing your queendom though through peace, positivity, and power. How you ask? Now that might be another book.
You want to hear something crazy? You ever heard of Yeah, give a round of applause for that too.
Thank you.
You ever heard of a Nike Tech?
Yeah, of course.
You know what a Nike Tech is?
Boys is all
The
about
sweatsuit is a
Oh,
tech
yes,
suit.
yes.
Women will come outside with a Nike Tech suit on nowadays. They're like little
be
boys.
cute. Wow. Yeah,
They're like
yeah.
little boys. I'm being honest with you. Their mindset is
And the
crazy.
bonnet.
Yes, the bonnets.
Oh,
And listen,
I've seen
I'm
that.
being
I'm
honest.
like, no,
Even if she's
no.
cute, a guy will sex her, but he won't keep her. Right here it says
why
relationships. Look at this. It says married adults are generally more satisfied with their relationships than cohabitors. Married people are more satisfied. Right. Secondly, it said relationship characteristics like perceived partner commitment, appreciation, and sexual satisfactions are better.
Predictors of
Yeah,
relationships.
I'm sorry. My glasses smurry. I'm breathing hard in it. Right? But what I'm getting at is this. When you have these conversations, a lot of times people have made certain things make sense that don't make sense. And they've created their own delusion when it comes to the dating market. I listen to some people tell me stuff like, yo, my glasses is moggy. I got a foggy. It's a breathing hard in them. But they make certain things logical that don't make sense. And I tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, T, I appreciate you. I tell certain people, like, look, when we have certain conversations, logic has definitely left our culture to the point feelings have intruded. And I say the word with conviction, intruded.
Wow.
Right? It's like having roaches. Right? It's intruded in our culture to the point where people don't have logic anymore. They have feelings. A person can know that 1 + 1 = 2, but I want it to equal 6 just because I want it to equal 6. And that's our culture in a nutshell. But let me ask both of you guys, and I want to go to you first, Sharon. What do you think right now is going on with the men? And I want to hear this from a woman's lens.
So, I mean, what I'm hearing is that, you know, I say the media, or more so the music, because I feel like the music a generation ago, the music kind of took our men down. The music now is taking down the women. Okay. It is very masculine. Okay. It is very gold diggerish. And at the end of the day, when you look at the vessels that they're using to send these messages, you know, I don't want to say specific artist names, but some of them are ex-strippers. Some of them have been victims of domestic abuse, sexual abuse. Some of them have trauma. And what they're doing is they're taking their trauma and teaching us how to be in it. Create broken homes. Basically. At the end of the day. So it's like who's our teacher, who's our leader, who's our influencers at the end of the day. So I feel like men are basically responding to the new age woman who is masculine, as you would say, Agreed. Who is looking for someone to take care of them, Agreed. Who does not have a father figure, so she's looking for a man who can take care of her. Agreed. Also, like, not really knowing how to parent. The men are not really knowing how to be fathers. They're not knowing how to instill, strong male values, and not just like masculine, because I think like men are like, they're like hyper masculine, but then they're not bringing like the character behind it. So I just feel like, we're really just a lost community. We don't really have any leaders. But on the flip side, I am a person who tries to find the gems, like the diamond in the rough. I do look at someone like LeBron James. I do look at a Barack Obama.
LeBron is Chef Brown. Give him his flowers.
Yes, please.
Give LeBron his flowers. I'm a big fan of LeBron.
Yes, me too.
What else? I got
And I'm not even
collect
into,
LeBron.
I'm not even into sports just to see. First of all, he's the same age as me, and he came to my school when I was a freshman in college, and that's the first time I met him or knew of him. And I mean, I've been following his career all these years, and his family, his lifestyle.
Yes.
It's all just such a great example. Like, he is the influencer of my time and my culture for me.
But you said how you said LeBron James influences you. Mm-hmm. Remember I told you celebrities. Mm-hmm. Somebody else is getting influenced by, yes,
But that's
by
why I said
somebody
there's
else.
different pockets of audiences.
But that's why I said
because,
celebrities
listen,
play a major part.
And just to be clear, my first influencers are my parents. You know, my parents have set the groundwork. They have set the standard. Now, it's very hard for me to meet anybody who meets their standard, but they have made it very tough for me because they are married 43 years. They have all their kids with each other. And it's just like, wow, you know, that to me is a standard that most of us can never really meet. But just to know that they did it, I know that I can at least raise my kids to do that.
So you have children.
Yes.
Would you date a man with children? You know that was coming, right?
Wow.
Give me a ball.
I have previously.
You know it's coming.
I had previously told him that I would not date. I don't date men with kids.
How many kids you have?
I have 2 kids.
Twins.
I have twin boys.
How old?
Yes. They're 13 now.
Okay.
And actually on my list, written down, I actually say my ideal man does not have multiple baby moms. Like that.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so you changed it.
So, yeah,
So you changed
yeah.
it.
I mean,
What made you change that?
so it's not that it's changed. It's not that it's changed, to be honest, but it's still the standard is the standard. But I just had to reword it because I don't think people understood why it is so. So first of all, there are reasons and there are exceptions.
Okay.
I say number
Are you talking
one,
logical?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there are definitely reasons and there's definitely exceptions because I've seen a lot of guys that I date who have kids. They are baby fathers or there's really no closure with the relationship. So I look at that like, you know, y'all in and out. You know, it's like a revolving door. Y'all
Right.
still mess around. Like, you know, I'm not really looking for somebody who's still in that. I'm also someone who is like an intentional dater. I don't do the casual sex thing. So I'm like, okay, so how did this happen? Like I said, I'm doing a little bit more inner work. I want to know like the situation.
Right.
It's not just like a cookie cutter thing. Because I can be judged just as easily and quickly that way. So like now I'm asking the questions like, okay, last person I talked to, he was like, oh, well, yeah, I just met at a party. Like, yeah, we didn't know each other. Now we have a kid. I'm like, yeah, like, I need somebody
Age,
who's
it
a
depends
little
on the
bit.
maturity. People grow up, though. I'm going to be fair to people.
Okay.
People
okay.
grow up. Like, if a person, I have multiple children mothers, right? And a person will see my situation and they would talk like, oh my God, he's this and he's that. And I'm like, I've raised my kids and I pay everything for my kids. And not only that, I'm active in my kids' life. But in the same breath, when you look at that narrative, I think a person that has kids, the reason why I would say that, they gotta, if I'm looking for a woman and I have children, I would have to date a woman that has extreme motherly skills, right? But today I was talking to a guy and he said to me, what is the difference of you dating then and now? I'm gonna tell you something funny. And I have to admit this. When I dated my ex with my son, the one thing I've noticed is she never wanted to be a stepmother. You know, like looking back, she dated the father, but she never fell in love with the son.
A lot of people are like that.
And it took me a long time because, again, I had my son at 17 years old. I didn't realize that she never built that rapport and that bond with my son. For instance, motherly instincts will naturally make a person that's dating someone become another mother for the man that they say or the woman they say they love.
Right,
There's
a
no
natural
way
mother.
I can date a woman with children and not love her kids.
Right.
But like, for instance, like I'll come home, I'm like, yeah, you helped her with his homework, but
Did you hug him?
did you hug him?
Right.
Did you show him love? And now I'm seeing there's a level of codependency from love from a woman because I should have brought that woman around him that could have gave him another example, at least of a stepmother. And I say there are people that date people, but I should have brought him a stepmother. And so he could have felt loved.
Yeah.
You know, and it took me a while to realize that.
Yeah.
You know?
So
That's very. But look at look at the timing it took you to do that. You didn't recognize that, say, at 18 or 19.
No.
It's something that you recognize after you did the work.
Yes.
And seeing your son go up and say, okay, I want him to be successful in his relationships.
Yes.
And you can identify what's lacking in him now. Look, because again, this is your seed.
Yes.
This is your baby boy.
Yes.
And-
Yes.
But again, you still have to do the work.
Agreed.
And then now
Agreed.
you know how to direct him
Agreed.
and encourage him.
Agreed.
So that he doesn't go into a relationship looking for something
Yes.
that he didn't get when he was younger.
You know, the most amazing thing I think I did with him is I sat down and told him sorry because
That's deep.
I had to admit that I didn't give him the example that I could have gave him. And I think that's hard for a lot of, I think black people feel like I'm gonna do something for you that shows that I'm sorry, rather than saying it, sometimes hearing it. You know, I told him, I said, you know, I'm sorry because I realize now I should have found a woman that wanted to be another mother for you. Because it's one thing for the parents, and I say this on live, and I hope you guys hear this, to date. It's another thing when you're dating someone that actually want to be a part of your children's life also.
right.
It's a completely difference.
Yeah, and with that said, you know, I'm like people call me a super mom, and I really love motherhood. You know, I don't even complain about it, being single and all. I just love it. And you know, another reason why I'm choosing the man, you know, so carefully is because I want to have more kids. And I noticed that a lot of guys, especially like a little older in age, they don't really want to have more kids. So like that's another thing that I have to look at. But again, these are things I dig into and not just like take the surface, you know, take
You would
the
date
surface.
younger?
Of course, I have to. Look at me.
No, so when you say, I'm not gonna ask you your age out of respect, but what would be the youngest age you would date?
These days, I would say no younger than 30.
Okay.
No older than 50.
Yes.
But then
Yeah.
I can't really say. I don't really.
How many years younger?
10,
10
12.
years? Okay.
Yeah, I would say about 10 years older, 10 years younger. You know.
Okay.
But then again, I really don't have a cap. And we could talk about that too. Like the whole age thing for me, maturity is everything. I mean, I've really dated like everything that there's out there. So
Seriously?
I mean, like I dated a 24-year-old last year. So
How was that?
they start to show their age eventually. That's why I'm like, okay, I can't do that so young.
24?
They're really not set up. They really
You know,
not set up
my
for
son's
life.
about to be 22.
I know.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's scary.
Look, I'm like, wow. Okay.
Keep you away from my son.
Listen. Yeah.
Keep my son away from you.
Yes.
Yeah. The same
Yeah,
age.
I mean, I have,
Wow.
but yeah, I'm doing a little bit more like in-depth work.
Let's elaborate on that, guys. Dating don't mean sex.
It does.
So let's elaborate on
I
that.
told y'all my policies. And my
Hanging out with
standards.
somebody
Yes.
and spending time with someone doesn't mean intimacy. So let's have that
It don't
conversation.
even have to mean a kiss. So
Because I know
please.
most people are thinking like,
Yes.
you know, you got to make sure. I just want to make sure I give her respect because I know someone will take it to the extreme. You know, so I wanted to make sure I say that.
Yeah, thank you.
Take the girls out on a date and they think that means sex.
Yeah, because
Is that a
people
foregone
think-
conclusion now?
Let me
They
say that
do
again on the
think
line.
so.
Say what did you say?
They really, guys are currently thinking that
about
because they take you out on a date, they're expecting sex, like automatically. They're like, I paid for dinner, I paid for it already.
I got to be. No, I mean, literally, I'm like, I got the meal. You sit right.
Yeah.
Because if that's what your expectation,
Right,
I got it.
Right. Well, we don't
Wow.
know. It's
Right,
literally like that
exactly.
is what's already in our heads, and we're not even talking
Wow.
about that.
What do you feel about that?
That's mind-boggling to me. Because
To me
and,
too.
and I say that because you want me to take the most intimate, special part of me and share it with you because we had a happy meal.
I know, right?
That's when you know that there's a level of immaturity there.
Right, exactly.
You know, because I don't think is spending time with each other is transactional. So that's in itself is value for value.
Right.
But the one thing I will say is, and I'm gonna say this on record, as a man, I tell a woman to meet me somewhere because even if I don't enjoy her company, at least I enjoy the dinner.
Right.
So I'm the kind of guy like, yo, meet me at Benihana's, meet me at Peter Luger's, because I'm gonna be there Saturday night at 8 p.m. I would like your company.
Right.
So therefore, if I don't like you, at least I love
gotta
my
get
meal.
away, exactly.
You know?
Yes,
So at least I didn't lose. It's like, yeah, I spent my money on what I wanted
Right,
to
exactly.
eat.
You wanted a
You
steak.
know?
That's why
yes.
you went there. Okay.
I think a lot of guys take it personal because they ask you where you want to go. They spend the amount of money that you put on the table. So therefore they feel like
You
owe
owe
me
me
something.
something.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from the different school, like the old school, and I'm talking 2000s. Like things were just not that way. And I mean, I do have an expectation from men to just treat me well, show me a good time, and like let me get to know you.
Yes.
I don't
Where's
think,
the attraction?
I don't.
Where's this? There's got to be a sexual
Let me tell
appeal.
you, guys
It's
is
gotta be
just
something.
Girls are
guys
too
is
easy these
not
days.
Guying.
Yeah.
They're too
They not
easy.
guying these days. I'm
Wow.
telling you, they not doing what they used to
A
do.
lot of girls are easy though.
But probably that's why.
Probably.
But why are we being all boxed in together? We not all the same.
No, because
And
he looks
let's
at
get
it
that
like
one straight.
Okay, when you look at logic, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
just being fair. I can find a big butt anywhere. I can find a woman that can make me orgasm anywhere. So for them, they look at it like, why would I have to put in this much work for this when I could just go get it so easy?
I'm sorry. You see my facial expression?
You
Ah,
see,
that's how they think.
See,
That's
these
how they
are
think.
men who don't understand the value
That's how
of
they
a
think.
woman. You
That's
know,
how they think.
They don't understand the value of a woman.
That's how they think.
I'm gonna keep this PG, but okay.
Yeah. But I'm just being fair. No, say how you feel, honestly.
Okay, forgive me, but I'm like, you can fall in any hole. I mean,
Any hole.
Exactly.
There's got to be something
Exactly.
substantial
More to
behind
it.
it.
Yes,
Exactly.
I think once the maturation process come full circle,
Yeah.
the man starts seeing that sex is the reason why most men are established.
Mm-hmm.
Men that chase vagina will always be broke. One of my sisters that's sitting at the table right now told one of my guys a man's supposed to chase them.
Mm-hmm.
And they got into it, arguing, right? And I told him I was gonna bring this up. I want you to, you know what it is? I didn't take sides.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go on record, guys, and say this. So Delicia and one of the guys that work with us and one of my head guys, Tyler, got into it about a man is supposed to chase a woman.
Right.
I said, T, I can't take a side because I need to hear her real stance on what she
Okay.
means by it. Because in fairness, I hear both sides, but I don't know what she said.
So a lot of my stances come from go back to spirituality in the Bible. Like
Okay.
God said, "He who finds a good wife finds a good thing."
Okay.
So for me, it's all about the man should. First of all, we got to define the chase thing, and second of all, we have to understand like. We have to have a mindset that's focused on like the end game. What is your end game? When like all guys are not searching for the same thing, but if
Agreed.
you're looking for a good woman to hold you down for the long term,
Yes.
then you have to be thinking differently. You have to be moving differently,
Agreed.
and you can't be letting everybody chase you. Like you can't let a woman chase you. But you know, I'm just that's just me.
You know, me and Tyler talked about it, and I actually mentioned it to you. I don't chase women. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't chase women. I chase purpose. And the reason why I chase purpose is because by me being the best version of self, the woman will benefit the most. And the reason why I say that, any real man that has built a great kingdom knows that the queen benefits the most. The queen enjoys it as well as her youth, her offspring. They benefit the most from the provision. They benefit the most from the protection. They benefit the most from security. So I think as a man pursues purpose, I think along that journey, he will find the woman that fits when he knows his purpose. Because naturally, let me ask you a question. Watch what I'm saying. If I'm a company,
not no
right?
fact. That's
No,
a
just look,
fake
hold on.
fact.
Look at me 1 second.
Fake fact.
1 second, 1 second. If I'm a company and I know I'm looking for a supervisor, if my company is at the ground level, chances of me finding a great supervisor is not that good. But the more I'm building the company, the more I know for a fact that the supervisor position I need. So I think that's what you learn along your journey. Because I think at your ground level,
You go first.
a supervisor could make sense, right? But I think at the higher level, that supervisor can't fit that room no more.
Okay, you know you just switched on my HR cap.
Okay,
Okay, so
okay.
so
Yeah.
when you
Go
say
get
that,
into it.
I absolutely understand that you yes, going from a biblical standpoint, I need you to search God. I need you
Of
to
course.
seek Him in order so you can evolve to who you have to be.
That's your
But at
highest purpose.
Right, exactly. But at some point, when you get to that level and you start identifying what's around you, you're going to have to say, okay, it's her. It's her.
He will
so,
see it.
So to
you.
a degree, there is a level, and I think that's what she's trying to say. There is a level of seeking because in order to get her attention,
Yes.
like guys, and I tend to be that bold person. I did that. I would
Yes.
do that again.
Yes.
I can be very bold and be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yes.
That's not, to me, that's not the right approach.
Yes.
You need to recognize me.
Yes.
The same way we used to say, "Okay, Sharon, you're a leader."
Yes.
That's something that starts a conversation. There's something in you.
Yes.
There's something about you.
Yes.
And as you begin to have that dialogue, that's part of the pursuing. It's not
Agreed.
so much
It makes
the work
sense. It makes
itself,
sense.
but that's part of the pursuit. It's
Yes.
that engagement That and when she starts thinking like, okay, this is okay.
So
I
can I ask
see
you a question?
I see you.
As you started leveling up, did your friends change?
Yes.
Did your standard of restaurants change?
Yes.
Did your level of vacations change?
Yes.
So what I'm getting at is, as you were going this way, the people that started being around you were more inclined to meet you at the top of the mountain than at the bottom. Because naturally, as I'm chasing my best version of self, watch me, hold on, in most cases, and while I'm chasing my best version of self, I promise you, certain energy cannot yoke with you no more.
That is true.
Because I don't know who I am.
So
Yeah.
what you're saying, the way that you're thinking, you're literally saying that by the time you make it all the way to the
No,
top
I
of the
didn't say
mountain,
that.
you're
I didn't say
gonna
that. I
look
said on
for
the way.
something different.
I said on the way.
On the journey, no, you should be taking that journey with somebody.
No.
And really and truly,
Men
No.
negating responsibility. What I'm saying, more men are negating into that. More men are negating.
Let me say this.
responsibilities.
When a man,
that.
look, when a man is pursuing best version of self, you should not be his premise. And the reason why, nor you, nor any woman. And the reason why is because naturally a woman needs a provider, a man that can provide security and protection. Until you meet certain criterias, a woman will never view you as a man. When a woman is very disrespectful, a man doesn't view her as a man. I mean, a woman, he views her as a man. A woman that's loud, obnoxious, and raw. He don't see that as a woman. He see that as a dude.
Really?
Yes, that's a dude.
Oh wow.
So if I lay in the bed with a girl that talks like that, I'm sleeping with a guy. That's how I feel. I'm being honest. That's what men think. I'm being honest. Men do not view a loud, obnoxious, Rory woman. That's not a woman.
we
That's a man.
understand that.
That's a man.
I didn't
So-
see it that way.
but that's how men
Right,
see
I'm
it.
like, that was insightful.
That's how men see it. But watch this. When you see a man, while he's pursuing self, he's learning who he is. And while you're learning who you are, you know what you want. See, the problem is when you're not pursuing purpose, you don't know who you are. So
are
therefore,
you-
I can meet
are
a
you-
woman.
are you-
I went through a divorce because when I didn't know who I was married.
Right.
But then when I found myself, I lost interest in that person because that person no longer served my purpose.
Right.
So I'm like, you know what? You don't want me to talk to people, but that is my gift. And you're holding me back from what God has made me to do, to lead people to Him. And how am I going to lead people to Him if you don't even feel comfortable with me talking to women?
Right.
So I'm going to lead men only to God?
Okay, so you're saying that you're basically saying that men they really shouldn't be pursuing anyone until they reach their point of success.
At least know where they're going.
Okay.
For instance,
okay.
I can-
So
I-
when you
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
when you find your purpose,
Yes.
you are saying that you do not chase a woman.
No, but while you're going towards your purpose, you're going to see the woman that's for you.
Okay,
She's gonna
so-
glow.
so how
she's
does-
gonna stand out. You're gonna see it.
Okay.
Because you know what you need. For instance, if I know,
Yes, they
okay,
are.
I got a company, right? I created. It's called Empower Dynasty. The one thing it took me a while to realize, initially I had the mentality where I thought I needed to do everything myself. Everything myself. Now, while I'm going towards my best version of self, I realize what I need. And naturally, I'm delegating with ease because I know what my value is to the company, but I also know what's needed. That's the same thing how a man goes. When a man is going this way, he'll see what he needs. Like, you know what? I need a woman that's gonna have that relationship with God, that's gonna keep me focused. I'm the kind of man that will work 7 days a week. Grind. If I don't have a woman that say, hey, when we gonna go on vacation? I'm gonna grind till the day I die.
Right.
Because I'm never satisfied. So therefore, you know what you need as you start being comfortable with self.
I hear you on that, and I feel the same way. As I've done the inner work and really got to know myself over the past few years, I do feel like I know exactly what I'm looking for.
Okay.
And when it comes across me, I'll know. But I need to know how. If you don't chase women, then how do you make connections with the women that you want to be with?
You're gonna see him. While you going up, you already have an idea of what a wife is. Because you'll learn what a wife is.
I'm saying, but how do you go from friends? Yeah, how do you go from friends to lovers? Like
Because
how do you make
God
that
along your
connection?
journey, God gives you something called clarity.
No, I need like your
I'm giving you.
example.
I'm giving you.
Saying how,
You will know. You will know.
So
You will
then-
know.
But that's what we. But
You'll
to
know.
me, that
Let me ask you a question.
chase is an approach.
Watch this question. Watch this question. Watch this
Okay,
logic.
So we should have started by
Let me ask you a
defining
question.
the chase.
Hold on.
Because
Watch
an
this
approach
question.
is it to me. The chase is an approach. Once you say words to me, that's a pursuit.
He's learning you though. He's learning you. We don't assume. Successful men don't assume. We go off of facts. What is what is it, what ain't. I don't make something that is not. I'm not going to repaint an elephant. It's an elephant.
Right.
And I don't put lipstick on the big and call it not a big, it's big. Right? So once you get to that level of clarity, God gives you better vision and more certainty. Right? When you see every man that I know to date that's married to a woman that's for them, I promise you, they knew she was for them. As while he was going, he knew. He knew with no doubt.
I'm still not getting
You know
the
how you know that's
answer.
true? You know how you know that's facts? You know why you know that's a fact? How come a man could date a woman for 10 years, never marry her, meet a girl in 6 months and marry her? Why? Because while he was becoming the best version of himself throughout
He
that
chased
relationship,
the right woman.
no, he realized what he needed.
Right.
It's not a chase.
Okay, so
Chase is bad.
So maybe why don't we like the word chase? Because to me, the approach and the pursuit is really the same. But
Okay, I see
what's
what you're
wrong
saying.
with the word chase?
It's like you're negating your responsibility.
Chases to me is a childish
Okay,
game.
I didn't
It's
see
a
it
childish
that way.
game.
I didn't see it that way.
Chase is like a woman want take me out, spend me time with me, give me time,
okay,
give me
no.
energy. But I'm like,
I mean, energy for sure.
no,
Why
you gotta
not?
know there's certainty. Man, real men give clarity. Real
Okay.
men are they solidify who you are to them with facts. You'll know.
But I think that's why you need podcasts like this more, because I think women listening need to hear.
Yeah, we
Yes.
understand
You know what I'm saying? Because that's,
Yes.
not,
The
that's
language
not like
is
we have a
different.
circle, you know, where it's like, okay, what does a man want? Well, they need to hear, this is what a man is looking for. This
Agreed.
is what a man is saying.
Agreed.
And it's still, again, to your point, as well as yours, build yourself up.
Yes.
So you
Right.
become the best version of yourself.
Of
Go back to
course.
the manufacturer and say,
Right.
God,
Yes.
who am I called to be? And move in that purpose. And that way, to your point, you'll be able to attract that person.
Yes. Most nowadays, most women feel like, take me as I am. I don't care. Take me as I am.
Yeah, no.
It is
Wow,
what
no,
it
no,
is.
no.
No, the man is
That's
supposed to
what
work on
this is
himself.
about.
Right, exactly.
Take me as I am. But the man, like for instance, the other day, I said in most cases, not using you two as an example, but in most cases, if a man falls off financially, most women will lose interest in him. Would you agree or disagree?
Absolutely not.
No. Most women?
Sorry, not
Not you.
It depends on what the agenda was.
No. In most cases,
Okay. Look, I'm like, okay, that was
Being fair.
yeah, that's real.
it's
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, that's real.
It's real. But watch this
Not
though.
in my
In
world,
most
but
cases,
okay.
when a woman aesthetically don't look like what he got with, he can lose interest also.
Okay,
Yes,
yeah,
that's true. Yes.
Reciprocally so.
When I
yeah.
said that the other day, you know what the lady said to me? That is so shallow. So it's so shallow that you don't see the man as who he is because he
Okay.
lost his economics.
Right, exactly.
Which is unfair to men.
Exactly.
Which is so unfair.
And it's unfair to women as well.
But like I said, when you learn what women look for and you learn what men look for, you don't try to make it what you want.
Right.
You make it what your mate needs. I think the best person in the dating market is one that's selfless.
Yep.
And that's genuinely what I feel like. You know what? If your love language, Sharon, is respect, I'm not gonna not give you respect when I know that's your love language. You don't choose to meet your love. Your love language is just you. It makes you feel whole. It makes you feel complete. It makes you feel important in that relationship. When you take someone that doesn't value, like for me, I'm a words of affirmation guy. The reason being is because I'm constantly talking to myself in my own head, and I can beat myself up more than, like one of the girls I'm close with. She said to me, "You know why it's hard to take advice from you sometimes?" I said, "Why?" She said, "Because I feel like no one is hard on you." And I said, "If you only knew how hard I am on myself,
Right?
you will understand what I go through."
Wow.
I said, I fight demons.
Right.
And I said, and my demons have gotten smarter. They've learned what to use against me. They've learned how to intrude on my life. You know, we're not talking about being a millionaire anymore. We surpassed that already. We're talking about being $100 million man now. So in order for me to get there, I realized these devils, they're more conniving. They're sneaky. They're very manipulative. They use family members. They're oh my God, they're smart. And sometimes you fall victim because psychologically we're not prepared, and we don't have that level of access to people that can tell you like, yo, this is what's gonna come with this. This is what comes with that. This is what comes with that. But the one thing I will say before we get out of here today, where we at today? How much time we at?
We got 120, 130.
All right, so we're gonna finish up soon. But one thing I will say is, when dating, we got to come back to our logic. Sometimes I hate to say this, and I always sound like the male chauvinistic pig when I say this. I genuinely believe that people think that there are people out there that don't see them at all. Like, I've met men that say the kind of woman they want, and I'm like, brother, she will not see you. And I've met women.
Why you say that though?
Because she won't. It's the truth. One thing about life,
Fake facts.
and I gotta say this. Let me say this before then you can give me your reasoning why. There are two types of values. Self-value, the least he has a right to feel like you're a dime. You can feel so if you want, and you'll never hear me argue that. You can feel like you are God's gift to the world. As long as you're not walking around with conceitedness and arrogance, right? You can be highly value yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But the issue that I keep seeing when talking to most women is they don't assess dating market value. They're not the same value. For instance, that's a low-value man who doesn't have nothing going on for himself, believing that he's gonna get the top-tier woman. That's a level of delusion. Because in most cases, he won't. There will be an exception to every rule. There's always gray. Black, white, gray. Right? That's not the rule, though. The rule is the rule. In most cases, people overvalue themselves when they come to dating. I'm like, when I tell certain people, like, that's the best you're gonna get, who are you to say that? I'm like, to be 40 years old and I see that as logic, something is wrong with you.
Wow.
Because if the highest value of men are not chasing behind you, that means they don't see you. It's just logic, right? If you tell me every man tries to talk to you that has education and degrees, that means educated and degree men are attracted to you.
Right.
But if I'm not getting hit on, I'm getting hit on by the hoodest of hood girls, that means some kind of cologne that I have on that's luring them,
Yeah.
that they see me. But if you're not luring these type of people, that means it's something that you're not doing that's luring these type of people.
So what I have to say about that is, it's also about your environment. I think we all see this meme often on social media where there's like a beautiful car, but it's in a dusty garage. And they say when you're not in the right place, then your value doesn't matter, like no one will see it. And I think that has to do a lot with what we're dealing with right now too, because you can be valuable and you just might not be going to the right places or maybe not showing up in the right spaces. That has a lot to do with it too. But as far as like people being compatible, I really think that, I think guys are really, really calculated with it. Women are willing to give men a chance. That's the reason why I said fake facts about it. Women are willing to give. How many women who said they took care of somebody, had them living in their house, driving their car?
How many men you know that did that too?
Yes, sir.
Same.
Okay.
Same.
A lot of men do that same thing.
And I'm just saying, like, I think, you guys have your standard and you see it the way you see it, but women may not see it exactly the same way.
Okay.
We're open-minded. We're willing to, step into that situation. We're willing to step into that situation and assess the situation instead of just judging it off rip.
Agreed.
You
Agreed.
said something about, you wouldn't talk to anybody from the DM. I'm like, women want a DM that's going to amount to something, but we want to at least make the connection.
But you know why I wouldn't talk to a woman in the DM?
Why?
Because I don't have to.
No, listen. What's that bomb for?
No, let me tell you why I don't have to.
Explain.
And I'm going to be honest with you. Some women can take this how they want, take it as arrogance, they can take it as whatever they want.
Sounds
I'm at a point in my life where I can get the level of woman I want.
like.
And the reason why is because I can give her exactly what she would want.
So Q, I could say the same exact thing. I can say the same thing, right?
Elaborate on that.
I can say the same thing. I can get the guys that I want.
What do you think the man wants, though?
He got to tell me.
No.
Because for you, I feel like for y'all or for you, it's very, very concrete.
What do you think high value men want?
Respect.
Okay, that's one.
You know,
you on the right track.
Love.
Okay.
I think they
Affirmation.
want.
Let's keep going.
I think they want to, like you said earlier, be
Submissiveness.
celebrated. Yeah, submissiveness.
Celebration.
All that.
Yes.
Listen,
Okay.
you helping me. Thank you.
Okay.
So yeah, I understand what men want.
What do you think is the number one thing out of all those things?
I don't know. Did I miss sex?
No, you said it.
Oh, respect.
Sex does play. You know why? I think sex do different things for two people.
Mm-hmm.
I think for women, right? Sex to me, well, to men, I'm gonna speak for men. I want y'all to speak for yourself.
Yeah.
It's unfair for me not to give y'all that respect. But for men, it makes you walk up straight. Yes. A man's
got it.
sex for sex. Like a real man only rewards himself with sex after he's accomplished. A bum will constantly give himself something called dopamine releasing because he's a bum. So what he does is he sleeps with a bunch of women because it releases dopamines over and over and over, giving him a false pretense of success. But a real man, we talking about real men. Real men will naturally only release dopamines after they feel accomplished. Like for instance, you could be my woman, I'll push you over, I don't want to touch you. You could be my woman, I don't want to even touch you because I feel like I haven't reached certain levels. That's what real men do. So they look at it like, damn, I don't want no sex. Like I ain't, my account didn't hit the number I expected this week. I'm not where I want to be. I don't want no sex. But I think a man that's constantly adamant about, especially a grown man that's adamant about sex, it's because he ain't got nothing going on. He ain't got nothing going on. He ain't got nothing going on.
That's insightful.
Yes.
I've heard that. So, but I do think that you guys kind of like have like these concrete things.
So do y'all.
Like what?
It's called standards.
Okay, we have a
I'm
standard.
good with it. Yeah.
I think
There's no way a man's gonna work to be the 10 percentile to settle for the 99% of bum women. It's not
But
happening.
what is that 90%?
Trash.
Yeah,
Said
but
it
it's
earlier.
just find your trash.
But to
No
her
respect,
point, she
no
did say
logic,
that.
combative, argumentative. I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is being
Wow.
fair. Most high value men do not see women with children as high value. Can my guys in the studio agree?
But I know men who have been with women who have kids and
But
are happy.
There's
and,
always a gray area.
But there's a gray area in everything.
But to make that a standard is bad. You know, kids become doctors out of the projects, right?
yeah.
But for me to say that as a common practice, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's unfair and not logical.
Right.
Without structure, without environment, without the right school, this kid will not be a doctor. There will always be an exception to everything.
Right.
But to make that the standard, there's a level of delusion that comes along with that. I realize that most kids that are doctors and professionals come from great areas. It's not my statistics. If you look at the better areas, for instance, where I live at, the average, if you look at here, you can Google it by statistics, the average person here has a bachelor's degree or better. Average. There are areas where the high school equivalent is areas that are GED equivalency. You can look it up. This is record. You are educated, you know. So it's just what it is. It's not by my opinion, it's just facts. So it's just what it is. I do believe that what you said earlier, environment does give you access to better people. Agreed. Because even a lower grade man will still be a better grade man in a better area.
Right.
So he will at least have standards. He'll still have a job at least. He'll still be willing to work.
Right.
So that's a fact what you said earlier on that note. All right? Someone said, if you know men that are marrying women with kids, then you should marry them too. See, that's one thing I will admit, and I gotta say this. That is logical. When a woman says, you got 3 kids, he should date a girl with 3 kids. But here's the problem. I always say this statement. When a man dates you with 2 kids, you're coming with 2 kids. So I get to see your 2 kids every day. The difference is with a man, in most cases,
They don't have the.
They don't
the
have the
kids are
kids.
not custody. So therefore, the man sees the kids, the woman don't. So I get my kid on weekends. So you deal with him Friday to Sunday.
Right.
But opposed, I got to deal with your kids every day. And let's just say hypothetically, the father of the kids is like, don't respect him. Now I'm walking around my home on eggshells because your fake princes think they're kings.
So it's funny that you brought that up because one of my exceptions when it comes to men with kids is I do date men who have custody of their kids.
Okay.
For me, that is like when you don't, it's a trigger for me. You know?
Well, you said it. You said, because the relationship is, you in and out, you're not sure. And there is a level of closure and a competition piece.
Agreed. So before we get out of here today, I want you guys to say, go ahead, what you about to say before we do that?
Okay. So you said something about you said that a high value man does not consider a woman with kids to be high value.
He doesn't.
Right. So I wanted to just say something about that. And honestly, I do know that. Like logically, I know that. I know that's why it's hard for me, right? And actually, when I told you I tried out for this reality
There's
show,
2
and they
of them.
asked me that, and they asked me like, "Why do you think you're
have
still single?"
2.
I know, and they are amazing.
Dun, dun, dun.
And for me, my kids are an asset. They're not a liability.
But for a
And
man that they don't belong to, they're not an asset.
I understand that.
Just so we know that. Let's
Yeah,
clear that up.
I understand. I understand. So actually, that's what when they had asked me, like, why do you think you're still single? That was the first thing I said. I said, I'm a divorced woman with 2 kids. Of course, that's why I'm single.
Right.
There's really no other reason why. But I do understand that. It's not like I'm not logical. It does not change my standard. It does not change what I'm looking for or what I want. I'm just looking for a special man with love in his heart because me and my kids, we're good. We're good. But we're good. The
I'm
love
not.
is, huh?
I'm not. You know what I stopped doing? And I'm being honest with you. I feel like that's a level of defense mechanisms when people say stuff like that.
Well, you
know that? Overconfidence is backed by a level of insecurity.
No, it's not overconfidence.
Why, you know why I say that, though?
To say that we're good.
Y'all good, but y'all not until the house is complete. And I'm not good until my house is complete with a woman. I don't want to say that lie. I think that's what we do as a defense mechanism. I think I don't need a man.
So,
I'm good. We're okay. We're going to be good regardless. That's all
I'm
defense
not
mechanisms.
Listen. So what I'm trying to say is like the love is real. Like the love within my home is real.
Agreed.
And for me, and I saw something recently that really stuck to me. It was a quote that said, "Oh, you worried about your baby father? Well, something like that. But imagine if you were still with him." And I had to that really stung me because I was like, you know what? Some days I think, oh, what could have been?
Right.
And I'm like, no, it wasn't.
Right.
It's better this way than it could have been. And sometimes you have to also assess the situation that you come from. And, and that's a reality that I have to face before I could even go into something new. Because I'm not going into something new thinking that I need, and I'm desperate. I'm in a situation where we're really good. So if anybody who comes into my life, and I date often. It's never like dry spell, but like everybody that comes into my life, I'm making sure that they complement what we got going on.
Yeah.
Because we have a very unique situation, and the love is real.
Yes.
And it's just to say that I'm good. I'm saying like my heart is full.
Okay, that makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
was good.
You know. One thing I say is like, sometimes when you talk to men and women, I genuinely believe we learn how to create coping mechanisms, and we learn how to cope with what we create to cope. For instance, my coping mechanism was running to a multitude of women to cope with the problem that I had at home. So that became a coping mechanism for me. So one thing about me, I'm very transparent and honest. When you look at a lot, but also I come from a broken home. And I was also taught as a man, you don't talk. And if you do speak, you're weak. So now you have a man who's big in stature, but in my mind, I'm going crazy. I'm fighting the 4 walls. I just started being transparent with my truth to the point where I'm really receiving everything that I want because I'm honest with everything I want in truth. But there's some people I feel like when you talk to men and women, they be like, Q, I don't need no woman. And I'm like, I think that's where you're just saying that because of the hurt and the trauma you've come from.
Yeah.
Right.
So you feel like I don't want to talk bad about my mom. My mom used to say that a lot. I don't need a man. And I'm like, looking back, it could be the reason why she never got one.
But to your point, women that have gone through that we haven't touched on that as much. Women, those same examples where the men left, it's the women that are left alone standing.
Yes.
So they had to be the one. When you're raising that boy, when you're speaking into that man, you got to put on multiple hats.
Yes.
You got to be the strong woman because society
Yes.
says you can't raise no punk. I can't have you out there crying. You have to put that on.
Yes.
Again, it's doing the work and
Yes.
pulling off that layer and healing. And at some point, turning that child over to God and saying, okay, I'm going to need you to bring a man into their life because I can't be the man and the woman.
Yes.
We have to be called to who we are.
Agreed.
Fundamentally. And that's what you've done.
Yes.
You can't be... You
Can't
weren't
be all
supposed to be
things.
quiet because you're speaking life to generations.
Yes,
and
yes.
women have to, at some point, very much to what you said, she's a mother,
Yes.
but she knows enough to saying, the person that comes into her life has to complement what they have.
Agreed.
Because she can't be the mother and the father.
Agreed.
There's a role that she plays, and you have to trust that the person that comes into that setting can
Yes.
fill the gap. But there is a gap. And so the women have to do the work again and say, okay, I've got to release this because in order for my king to come, I can't play multiple roles.
I want to ask both of y'all a question. And just a yay or a nay. If a man doesn't pay bills and he neglects his family as a financial responsibility, would you call that economical abuse?
I guess so.
Yes.
It's a new one.
Okay. So
take it.
okay. Now Going further,
Absolutely.
if I put my hands on a woman, would you consider that physical abuse?
Yes.
Yes.
If I manipulate you psychologically, is that mental abuse?
Yes.
Yes.
The one abuse that I think that black women don't talk about enough is verbal abuse. I think black women are some of the most verbally abusive creatures there are on earth. The things they say, like for instance, I remember I was dating a woman. She said to me, "You're a cheater." And I said, "Because I love you, but I don't respect you." And you can be madly in love with someone but have no respect for them. And she couldn't understand it. I said, "The things you've said to me have affected me so psychologically that in this home, I didn't feel like a man. So I went to go get my manhood back from another woman." And she couldn't understand it. And I kept trying to explain it to her. I said, emasculation is real. And I said, the sad part is you've been taught that verbal abuse is normal because you're upset. So if I'm upset and hit you, it's physical abuse. But if you're upset and verbally abuse me, it's normal. And I think that's what our culture has learned.
Yeah, we
and
gotta
it's
break the
disgusting.
shackles of all
right?
that.
That's
Yeah.
wrong.
You learn my vulnerability and you use it against me.
Yeah, no.
And that's what we see as our culture. You know?
And that's where we have to start drawing the line. Once we see those toxic habits and those toxic traits, that we can't allow it. That those are the standards that we have to set for ourselves in the purposeful dating spirit. We can't just accept anything.
Yes, yes.
You know,
yes.
Just to go back to my status and how I date, like it's extremely hard to have like my standards to be this high and then the mentality of the average man to be this low. To not, really try to understand who I am as a person. If it stops at, okay, I have 2 kids. Yeah, but I was married at very, very young. Somebody wiped me up at 21. And,
What that mean?
I'm just saying.
That's what it means
What does that mean, what?
to men.
What part of what I said?
The whole thing. What does it mean to us?
Well, it
I don't
means
know
that
which
she didn't go
part.
out there and just
No, but a man don't care about that.
So they don't want those details?
No, men more so care about where we going. Men,
But you can't say that and then say that you care about the fact that I have
no.
kids.
Logic
So,
says
yeah.
women care about where a man's going. Men care where you've been, but in the same sense, where you've been, what comes with where you've been. That's what we care about.
So again,
for reputation comes
I'ma
with where
go
you been.
right
I don't
back
want
where
that.
I was.
It's a reputation.
Yeah,
But that's
so-
not what I'm saying about her, guys. Let's
Yeah,
establish that.
No,
That's not what
I
I'm saying about
understand
her.
what you're saying,
Yeah.
but what you're saying is almost contradictory. You're saying he
Okay.
cares, but he doesn't really understand, like, because
I think when you sit there and explain to a man, hey, I have 3 kids, but I was married to him, I'm not saying you, I'm just speaking in general. I have 3 kids and I was with the same guy and we was together since high school, sweethearts. That's cool, but it's still 3 kids coming with you. It's like, damn. It's like
But damn, so like, tell me where that damn is.
the kids.
Yeah, but what about it?
The kids.
So what is about? No, tell me more. No, go deeper.
The
Tell me more.
kids.
Because
Because
what you're
in
saying-
most
what you're
cases,
saying, what are you
most
saying?
men
Are you
don't
saying
even
that's
like-
a financial burden? Is that
No,
saying
he's
you don't
not.
got love for
A
them?
man
Like,
doesn't see
go-
that
go
as
hard.
just about listen, just because a woman could financially take care of kids, don't mean a man still doesn't believe that he has to play a role in development of those children.
But see, to me, that's not a
but let me just say this though.
high-value man to me. That's
Only
not
a
the man I
bozo,
want.
only a bozo
Like-
thinks like that. No, a bozo thinks that, hey, I'ma date her and I ain't gotta do nothing with her. That's a bozo.
Right,
Right.
but
That's a bozo.
that's what
So
I'm
when women say, I'm like,
saying.
you telling a man to be a bozo. You good because you ain't got to play no part of my kids' life. They got their dad. They got me. I'm like, so you want me to be just a man in a room. You don't want me to be no impact on your children.
Yeah.
That don't add up.
Yeah, so
and if a
but-
guy settles for that, he's a bozo.
But what you're
Big
saying-
red nose, a colorful wig, and a white face, and he dances to clown music.
But you're telling me
Wow.
that I need to care about what this bozo thinks about me and my situation.
I think, like I said, when it comes to dating, it's just.
very you're talking very superficial right now because now
But that's
you're
how
saying,
humans are.
Well, you telling us that it's not fair.
It isn't
to
fair.
date a man based on his money, but now we gotta.
No,
now
I
y'all
think-
Now
I
you're
think-
admittedly saying that men are superficial.
No, I think everyone is for the most part, right? And there are standards that people have to meet in order to get certain levels of people, right? For instance, there is no way I'm going to get the top graduating student in the class that I want, but not pay them handsomely to the magnitude of they're the number 1 of their class, and I'm not going to pay them handsomely. And if I think that, I'm delusional as hell. So therefore, if a man, right, we just said that only 6% of people, 4 to 6%, make over 100,000. 4 to 6%. I think sometimes our settings makes us believe that so many people make so much more money. And that's gay, that's straight, that's married, and that's single. That's
And that's
all
also
in
not
that
black.
4 to 6 percentile, right? So when you look at the logic, it says, right, for me, what I'm saying for me, personally, when a man has created himself to be in that 10 percentile, he has very, 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 very high levels of options. And I think a lot of women don't like to accept that. A man that's created legacy don't see another man's children as his legacy. And that's what a lot of people don't like to hear. It's like it offends them, it disrespects them. I want my daughters to understand the day you start having children with men, just know certain men will never look at you again. And I'm gonna be fair. Once a car is not considerably new anymore and it start putting mileage on it, it's not worth the same. That's how men see women. And I'm being fair. Men see women like a car. Once it has mileage, they don't want it like that no more. There's not someone will buy that car. But the man that she's thinking that's gonna buy her, the same way when she was in high school, she's delusional as hell. She's delusional. Would you agree with that, Kenzie?
I mean, I don't think somebody's trying to do that.
Not you. No, what I'm just saying is most women, their highest level of attention is usually between the ages of 18 and let's say about 30, 28. They get a lot of attention, right? Mm-hmm. So some women hold on to that attention time, right? Mm-hmm. There's a video that went viral. The granddaughter said, "Oh my God, these men are so thirsty." And the grandmother said, "You better enjoy it because soon there's not gonna be no attention coming." She said, just so be mindful, just enjoy it now because that's not gonna always be like that.
So I could counter you.
I'm listening.
further.
I'm telling you how men think, though.
So for me, if I was to say like in reciprocation, right, what a woman would consider to be high value is a man who values marriage.
Okay.
So like I would say that.
Some women.
No, I mean most women.
And marriage?
Yeah.
Just marriage?
No.
What?
Not all women.
What's the question?
Most women today don't care about the marriage no more. They care about the
Most
relationship.
high value. Listen, okay, so let's just talk about this certain type of women. They're literally
They wouldn't be
hoes
having
and
kids
housewives.
without it then.
They're literally
That's not high
hoes and
value.
housewives.
You got women that's
Exactly.
professionals, careers, everything. They still having children without being married.
Yeah, but that's not the ideal.
That's a coping mechanism.
Okay, I'll give you that. I will. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll
Because
give
they
you
have
that.
not found it, and,
Yes.
and there's a timeline.
Hey,
I see what you're saying.
and I
Logic,
know
logic,
friends
logic. You're 100% right.
specifically
Mom, that she
targeted
right.
a specific man or a specific guy that they was dealing with just to have that kid because this was time.
You never seen the stats?
Huh?
It says that 90% of women in the same line dating the same 10% men. 90% of women.
That's crazy.
They chasing the same 10% of men.
and that's why
Say it again. I want you to say it. It's a fact.
Yeah, I believe it.
They're all
Yeah.
chasing the
Their
same.
bar is here,
Yes.
and the population is
It's
only but
here.
this
And on
small.
top of it, most
Yeah.
of the women that are chasing these guys do not reach the requirements of being in a relationship with those guys.
And we could go back to those requirements too, but just so you know, where were we? The talk. We were talking about the high value man,
Yeah.
marriage, right. So I was saying most women, their aspiration is to be married. It don't always work out. Some of them think they're gonna have a baby and it's gonna turn into
Agreed.
marriage. Some of them believe, be engaged for a little bit, then they realize, okay, it's not all that cracked up to be. Some people get married and it doesn't work out. But for the most part, a woman really values a man who's ready and willing to get married.
I think more women today want the wedding more than the marriage.
I mean, to be honest, no woman just wants to be at a wedding. When you invest your time,
Some
your
people,
energy,
a woman said more women are excited about the baby than a husband.
which woman?
Wow.
So what category they in the hoes or the housewives?
I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that
Categories of
because
women.
Sharon definitely
Which
gave them
category
a
we
pass
in?
because we do have to admit that women do be on the timeline.
Right, that's
so
for sure.
therefore, I have
That's
to be
for
fair
sure.
to those women. It's like, you know what?
But that's
40.
real.
But
Yeah.
Like I can't.
Yeah.
So to the person who
saying?
said that, to the person who said that, how many women you know excited about being a single mother?
Not a lot.
Let me tell you,
I don't know now.
I'm probably the most you gonna find.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to see some stats on that.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Seriously,
calling
'cause
that.
I don't know not
It's too
one
much
woman.
social media that focuses on.
What she said, I think was.
Listen,
What's this? Fun fact? What was it?
fake fact.
That's what you just said.
Right.
That was fake fact.
I think
Because
there's
I
too many
don't
women
agree with that.
who want the fairy tale.
Because ideal, you would not want to be a baby mother.
No, I'm
Hold
not.
on, you said my point.
Do it for me. What I
You
said
said
about me?
you said a second ago.
You said about me like
Say it
being
again,
the most
would you-
excited one?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
I mean,
cap.
that was a joke. No,
Okay.
totally a
I'm
joke.
about to say
What
cap.
I meant, no. What I meant, let me be clear. What I meant by that is I hear a lot of women complaining about single motherhood. My situation
They
is
do.
very, very different.
They
I do
do.
not struggle. I do not stress. That's not the narrative that I'm hearing from the average single mother. I don't really talk or
Your child
complain.
father, does he contribute a lot financially? Yeah, and
Listen, I do not
It's not a
struggle
struggle.
and I do not stress.
So therefore, that's why.
But that's the reason why I'm saying that's not the common situation.
That's why I
And
said
that's
in most
why
cases-
I'm like, you're not gonna find most. I have dinners with my girlfriends who are mothers and who are single, and they're like, "Yo, I hate this." Like, I can't say that.
But
I can't say that.
it's easy to
But
talk
I
like that when you have
understand-
a good amount of economics coming in.
But that's what I'm saying, and it's not just economics.
you
I'm
know-
not supporting a lot of
but
other things.
I gotta
But at the
rebuttal something you
same-
said, though.
Oh, no problem. But
Something good, though.
But please understand
You're
that
not a single mother.
understand that is a joke.
Just so you know that.
That was a joke.
No, but you're not a single mother,
But
though.
also,
Well,
I'm
if
just
you have
saying.
all those things, no.
No, you're a mother
What?
that you're a
I
mother
really
that's
got
single.
nothing.
No,
I
no,
do.
you're a mother that's single. You're not a single mother.
I totally am.
When
no,
the
I
idea,
really
no,
am. I
single
really-
means no, hold on, stay with me. Single means individual, no plural. You can't have plural incomes and plural people in your children's life and say you're a single mother.
That's why you never hear me
No,
say
she's
it.
a woman
People
that's
say
single.
That to me all the
I
time.
No, let's stay with me.
People call me that, but
No,
I don't,
because
you don't
they-
really
they
hear
have that
me say
situation.
that. Right.
A
That's why I'm
single
like,
is not plural. A single. My mother was a single mother of 6.
wow.
No man income, no man help, no man nothing.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's a single person. I was a single father. Never got a dollar from his mother. That's a single person. I think women use the term single, right? Because it's a machismo thing. I'm a single mother. But no, you're a woman that's single. The dad giving you $2,000 a month. Like, you not really, I give mine $2,600 a month. You're not single. You're a woman that's single. You're not a single mother. Because if it was all on your income, I don't think you'll be talking like that. I don't think you'll be that arrogant.
This is not
Not you.
arrogance.
I'm
telling
talking about
you.
somebody
Oh,
else.
okay.
That was a shot at somebody. Hope she gets this message.
Somebody else.
And
Somebody
don't
else.
let that go over your head.
Wow.
You know?
Okay.
No, but I hear what you're saying, and for this particular reason, that's the reason why I'm saying, like, I'm in a very unique situation. And just to go back to the marriage thing, this person said, "Oh, women are more excited about baby." Nobody wants to be single. Even
I don't
I
think so
can
either.
admit, it is not easy to raise children or a child by yourself. You don't want it. You shouldn't have to do it. You don't deserve it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think anybody's over here more excited about being a single mother than to have their family intact. But that's
Agreed.
what we want. It's just that we're just not getting it, and we just don't see it nowhere in sight.
But you know the difference
And
is,
that's
though,
why
of
that
our
comment was
parents
made.
and us.
What?
And I'm going to be fair, and our grandparents, both across the board. Our grandmothers and mothers in them, when they had marriages, they put their children first. I feel like most people nowadays, you know what they said? And I agree with this statement 150%. They say a married man will compromise his happiness to keep his family together. And a married woman will compromise her
some good
family
comments.
to keep her own happiness. And I believe that to be a fact. Women file for divorce at double the rate of men.
Yeah, we do.
And a lot of times when a
got
woman
time
will
for
say, I'm unhappy. And the sad part is, whoever told these women that a man is supposed to make you happy, they push you to get divorced. Because a man is not supposed to make a woman happy. He's supposed to add the IER already on her happy. A man is supposed to make you happier, but you're already supposed to be happy. I'm supposed to be happy, and my friend's supposed to add the value of happier.
Right.
And I think that's what someone taught us wrong. And a man could never love you to the magnitude of your father, unless your father was a
You
loser.
always say that, but
Never. I'm gonna tell you, I have 2 daughters, and no man can love my daughters more than me. Because you know why? If a man is dating you right now,
sets the bar.
Yes, if a man tells you right now, and this is being honest, if a man says right now, Q, would you die for her? I'm gonna think about it. I'm being honest.
nah.
If every man will think about it for their woman first.
Right.
Right?
For their children,
But when it's their
unequivocally.
child, get on my knees and do what you gotta do.
I mean, I could almost
Wow.
agree with
Not
that.
saying I won't
could
do
agree
it,
with that.
Right.
but you'll think about it like, she ain't that good.
Right.
I don't know. Oh man, I might not do
So it
this.
really does tie into what you said. It
Yes.
has to be the affirmation. It has to be the confirmation. It has to be the
Yes.
submission.
Yes.
In order to get that higher level man, in order for him to be that counterpart to that high level woman.
Listen, they say men don't love women the way they used to, but women don't know how to love the way they used to.
Well, now see, I don't think
don't
that's
think
that's
that's
necessarily
true.
true because
Say
to
facts.
your point you said earlier, women are more nurturers, so they will take that chance with the brother that looks like he
And
has not
disrespect
hit
him.
that level. Well, some, not
A
all.
lot?
Some, well, that depends. That again, that's the layering and the training that needs to be done.
Okay.
But yes, some will, because they're not at that level, think, okay, that's abuse. But again, that's because maybe there was something missing in life.
I agree.
But
I agree.
a real woman will take somebody and see, I see value in you.
Right.
Yes.
I see
Right.
worth
Exactly.
in
I
you.
see it.
And let's build it up together.
That's what
Agreed.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But a lot of times though, I hate to say this, a lot of women they're gonna remind you of how you're not together when they talk. crazy.
That's not the type of woman we're talking about.
But that's most. If a room full of men
what would you
agrees,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, what would you say
I'm
that
sorry to hear
population
that.
is? Because that's
Yeah.
that is. A
I
little
would say that's
concerning.
most.
Maybe it's
Nah, I'll give it more.
I can't. No,
I'm
I
like
cannot,
80, 85.
No, we calling fake facts on that.
Wait, no.
So hold on. My question
Because-
is, have you ever dated a woman?
No.
So how you gonna tell me?
I talk to a lot of women.
But you don't date them.
Let me tell you.
You ain't date them.
Okay,
How many
alright,
people
fine,
look?
fine.
How many people will
But-
go to work,
but even
kiss their
you,
bosses
but-
behind, and then go home and violate their husband?
But
a lot of them.
you still talking about 75% of the women that you dated, which could be a particular
No, I'm
type.
talking about all the men I talk to.
That's like, this is like people telling me, oh my God, when I have a friend who tells, everybody's broke, guys are so broke. I ain't never dated a broke guy. Like, I don't even know what that looked like.
I'm gonna ask you something.
Character-wise,
let me ask you
'cause that's
something.
all that matters to me. Character-wise.
If
trash, the whole trash thing that's a character
If you walk in the
situation.
house and you smell fire,
Okay.
are you gonna ignore the smoke?
No.
Fire, smoke, no.
So what I'm getting at is
Yes.
there is a smoke
Like, where do we
in our culture,
Yes.
meaning there's a fire.
Yes.
And the fire is women are very verbally abusive to men.
Okay.
And logic says, some of them, and the logic says, I'm not supposed to compromise my security, my provision, and my protection, even when I'm angry with you. But your respect will waver based on how you feel. So that means you're not that great of a woman. Because you have you haven't met emotional maturity yet. So if you feel your justification for not respecting me is because of anger, then you're not a good woman. Because you can get your point across without assassinating me the way you assassinated me.
Yeah.
That's not a grown woman. That's a
So,
kid.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that you guys are dealing with that.
No, not me. I'm dealing with. You see, I don't deal with that.
I'm talking about all the guys, because I hear this a lot. To be honest, like I do hear guys saying that women are all gold diggers. They're disrespectful. They don't, really want to show love. They're not here for what they're here for, and that's crazy. But I have to say, like, we have to start weeding that out of our circle, of our space, because you gotta curate your own world, like be in your own bubble, because like that's not acceptable. That's not acceptable for any standard, and I wouldn't accept a man that did that either. So like I think we have to take them out of consideration.
I agree. Sure, you got anything else you want to say?
I listen. This has been.
She-
I'm
she's
stuck
like,
because
wow.
I'm like
It's a lot.
between the affirmations and
It's a lot.
figuring out what
It's a
it
lot.
really is a lot to process.
It's a lot.
Because
Yeah.
I've never had the opportunity to sit and kind of get a real life conversation.
It's
Because
crazy.
Men are typically not transparent. They don't want to tell you, yeah, I'm scared. I got mommy issues. I don't trust you.
Right.
I'm looking at you, but I'm really countering 5 relationships back.
Yeah.
This has been insightful because I'm
Yeah.
like, to your point, it really is very logical.
Yeah.
It's either this or that.
Yes.
We're the ones that kind of, as women, we're like, well, he really could mean this.
But you know why
Yeah.
verbal abuse triggers
Yeah,
me,
we
right?
try, yeah.
You know why
Justify.
verbal abuse triggers most men? Being honest? Because they went through their mother
I'm sorry.
and they couldn't defend themselves when against their mother. So now I'm dealing with a woman that's giving me the same level of trauma that my mother used to give me.
So that man is drawn to that woman. So broken is drawn to broken.
Right.
Yes,
Right,
but
right,
sometimes
exactly.
men will recreate that same mother that they've seen, or B, they will leave. Some guys will stay with a woman that's like that, but they're gonna cheat. They're gonna cheat because again, a part of them is love that person, and when
Part
you
of them
love
hates
someone, 9 out of 10 times when you love someone, you want to see the good in them, right? Excuse me, I don't know nobody that loves someone wants to see the bad in them.
Right.
Usually, when you love someone, you want to see the good in them. So you love that person, but you don't respect that person. And I think that's what we're having an issue with it itself. I do believe that men and women nowadays, right, we got to learn how to communicate with each other. I think the way we communicate is even in anger, it's not a justification of how you behave.
It all goes back to
And
respect.
You see the logic? And that's what I'm starting to see.
Right.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, to a man, what do you think a man value more, love or respect?
Respect.
What do you think?
Respect.
100%. And the sad part is when a woman get mad, the respect goes out the window. So the relationship damage went out the window. It got damaged.
That's
because you can be mad at me and say how you feel with the level of reserve the same way you are with your boss. Why does that keep coming up? You ever hear the statement a lot? How come a woman can go to work and respect her boss, but she can't respect her husband, or respect her boyfriend, or respect her man?
There's some ego there. There's maybe
And
some
40,
pain,
she gonna be
some
alone.
trauma, some power struggles.
She better be ready to know that's Michelle and you in that relationship.
Wow.
And Crystal. Because of the fact that you weren't woman enough to understand that I gotta be mindful of how I'm conducting myself even in anger. If a man has to work hard to financially get on a level, a woman can't use her anger as a deficit to the way you behaving because of anger. That is a level of weirdness. You got me, I gotta work hard as a man to get myself together. I know this. But if a woman doesn't see like, hey, I gotta work hard to make sure even in anger I can control myself. I'm not gonna say, oh, I was mad. Then you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Right.
Because you have no self-control.
And these are the kind of conversations we need to have, because a part of the problem is also we don't know this.
There's no transparency.
Right.
You know, sharing it,
Enlightening.
saying it, letting each other know is really important. So even if you're getting started in a relationship, that needs to be said. That
What does
needs
that
to
mean?
be understood.
See, what does that mean? He's clocking her tea. What does that mean?
Because it means like you heard you took my drama and you replayed it. Yeah, it's
I don't know.
a girl thing. It's a girl thing.
He clocking her tea.
No, he was trying to say, whoever that is, said that it's because you replayed what I said about only me as a single mother probably excited that thing.
Okay, but
like drama.
what I will say this before we get out of here today, and I'm gonna let you guys say something before we leave. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let one of y'all go first. Who wanna say something first before we get out of here today?
I feel like overall we really need to have better communication, better transparency. I feel like we need to stop putting each other in a box, stop judging each other, and really have open dialogue. Let's talk about what we want or need from each other, even if it is money, even if it is just a baby. Let's
Being
talk
honest.
about it, because we can't keep, entangling ourselves with each other if it's really not for the end game that we both want. So at the end of the day, I feel like we gotta get this together. And I literally wrote the book Get Glowing so that, I could speak to women, speak to girls, and let them know, like, we can transform ourselves. We can be better beings for ourselves, for our businesses, for our children, for our families, for our men, but we have to do the work. And I've done the work, and I'm always doing the work. It's not, it will never stop. So I feel like we just have to really dive in and not give up on growth.
So tell them where they can find you at and keep up with you at.
Oh, please find me at delicia.b.davis on Instagram and TikTok.
Say it again, spell it.
Delicia.b.davis, and all my books are at theluxelibrary.co. The Lux Library.
Spell Lux.
LUXE.co, and that is my Gmail, my website, and my Instagram and TikTok name. So find me everywhere.
I didn't want nobody to say they couldn't find her. I want to
know
make
that's right,
sure
yeah.
that you know. You could always rewind this and play it back. Now, let me see what you
Right
got to say
on the
before we get out of here
screen.
today.
I think at the end of the day, respect for each other has to be paramount.
Yes.
As soon as you put that forth,
Yes.
initially, you
Yes.
start to decide and determine whether you're on the same level. And
Yes.
if you're not early on, you can say, okay, you know what, we're not compatible. Let's step away.
right.
Let's
Yes.
just be
Willing to
cool.
let go.
But it's got to start off with the basic foundation. I think somewhere along the way, whether it be social media, influencers or whatever, we've lost that. And we
Yes.
just want to get caught up in the excitement of it all.
Yes, yes.
But if you truly are seeking love,
Yes.
and marriage,
Yes.
and as well as respect and the
Yes.
family, you've got to start at the foundation of that.
Wow.
Right,
100% bomb to that. Let me say this before we get out of here today. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the problem. And I said we are the problem. So we have to be the solution. I realize that we point the finger too much, but we don't see that 3 is being pointed back at us. A lot of times when constantly seeking refuge from self, you don't fix self. A lot of times we look for people that actually co-sign our madness to the point where we become sick. And a lot of us are sick. And I will say for a moment, a good moment, I indulged in the sickness. Now I realize that in order to be healed, we have to reveal. So I'm allowing ourselves right now today on this podcast to be transparent and understanding that in order to date healthy, one has to be healthy within himself. One has to love themselves. One has to respect himself. And on top of it, one has to be not delusional with himself. We have to create an environment where men and women are safe to being honest and transparent, so therefore the relationship knows that a communication will always keep a healthy relationship together. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the problem. So we will also be the solution. In order for us to fix ourselves, we have to allow ourselves to be vulnerable. But again, till next time, don't let that go over your head.